had enough of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road.
Good morning. Morning to you. Top of the morning to you. What's up, Anthony?
Oh, not much. Thursday. Raining here in lovely New York.
I was just watching Robot Girl.
Yeah.
On Drudge, I guess, right? DrudgeReport.com.
Yeah.
Some dude is claiming he's got the perfect wife.
Creep.
And they were going through some kind of testing thing. And then the camera pans back, and it's Robot Girl head on kind of like a chair.
Yeah.
I thought it was a whole body.
No, is it? Because I saw hands.
Well, not when the video I was watching, it was just a head. And it was... And the scientist, or whatever you want to call him, was having her go through some exercises. And I was telling Anthony, one of the exercises was process this color.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you want the average Joe to get into this, you don't say process color. You just say, what's the color?
Hey, what color is that?
Because it's a robot. It's a computer.
Yes.
So you can say some just inane babble and make it, make it be that you want her to tell you what color something is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That guy, all those guys are like really creepy. The guys that build these robots, because the thing's mouth doesn't move right. And then he said you could, and everybody, the first thing you think of is, all right, can you F it?
Yeah, of course.
And he's like, well, I could have it reprogrammed to have an orgasm or something like that.
No, that's the only reason they're building these things.
Oh, stop.
I read an article about technology, and every time there's a new technology that hits, human beings, the first thing they use it for is sex.
Yeah.
The printing press, going way back when they first invented that, it was all about writing little stories, little sex stories to everybody. And then after a while, you go, okay, what else could this thing do? Fax machines?
Yeah.
You're faxing body parts all over the place.
It was faxing dirty, funny little things to hang up in your cubicle.
That too, sure.
Before that became inappropriate.
Right. Computers, we're still doing it for sex.
Yeah.
That one we're not out of yet. And now we're learning about the teenagers out there, texting their dirty pictures to their friends and
filthy.
Potential boyfriends or girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
That is rampant.
It is
in the schools right now. What do they call it? Sexting.
They text these pictures. I haven't seen them. I never get to see them online or anything like that.
Yeah, because every article says, well, not only do they, text these filthy pictures to each other, they end up online. And of course, being a middle-aged guy, you got to think right away, well, where online?
Where? Shouldn't there be these sites that are like, sextingpictures.com. What if you go there? Turn on that monitor over there so I can see what Danny's always fiddling with. Danny's always a bevy of entertainment that he's got to have his monitor where he can look at it and where the room can look at it.
Yeah.
Because you never know what filth Danny's going to pull up on his computer.
I notice every once in a while he has an oopsie.
Yeah.
Some kind of oopsie.
What do you mean an oopsie?
Maybe stuff you would look at by yourself in your room late at night.
Oh, that's not true.
Not in front of all your friends.
Oh, when he hits the wrong button on the screen and you can see his screen?
Yeah, there's some oopsies that pop up every once in a while.
I'm well aware that everyone can see these.
I'll just call it an oopsie. Yeah. Use your imagination at home. So this sex thing is a biggie. Yeah. And all the networks are doing stories on this yesterday. I think we got a couple clips from one of the networks doing the sexting thing. We didn't have this when we were in school now.
Of course not. You couldn't even... There was nothing. What are you going to do, taking a Polaroid swinger camera?
Yeah, we actually had to sit there and learn.
Yeah.
We had no choice. We had to sit there and learn. We didn't have cell phones in the classroom.
Pass a note.
If you wanted to cheat, You had to make
you
these.
like me, check yes.
Right.
No, nothing. You get nothing back. Ugh.
What they made those? What were those things with the?
Oh, okay. Pick a number. 3. 1, 2, 3. Pick a color. Blue. BLUE. All right. Now lift the little tab up.
Yep.
I hate you.
Yeah. That's all we had. And I was going to say, when you wanted to cheat, you got cheat sheets. Remember the tiny little cheat sheets? You try to make them as big as maybe your thumb and hide it on your thumb.
Yeah.
Or you would like put cheat sheets in the bathroom. And then, of course, you'd go in the middle of the test. Oh, I got to go to the bathroom. And conveniently, you got some fine little, some little notes in the stall.
I always heard about people that cheated on tests.
Never
did because never took them.
I had fun cheating at times. It was like a sport.
Yeah, it did seem like a fun thing, but
And now they're texting and cheating. But I guess the schools are finally onto that.
they're cracking down on it.
Yeah, but they
Not hard though.
But they would break out their phones and get the answer to tests, or text each other the answer. Mm-hmm. And these kids in these schools, they know how to text without looking at the keyboard. That's the difference between us and the kids in school. They know how to text without looking. Mm-hmm. We never had to master that. And the reason they had to master that is because they're texting, they have their hand in their pocket and they're texting as they're listening to a dullard up at the front of the classroom.
Yeah. Yeah, but
and then it vibrates and they know, okay, I gotta text back, and I guess they take a quick peek and then they back in their pocket and they're texting without looking.
But where are the nudie pictures?
You want to get into that?
It's like, oh, they found nudie pictures and they put them up online and they did the. All right, what's that?
That's not a girl in high school. That's a girl making believe she's in high school.
Pretty good, though.
It's still pretty sweet, but is this a sexting site there, Danny?
No, this is I mean, I don't know how underground it is because anybody could find these sites, but it's basically just like anonymous image hosting, and a lot of these cell phone pictures and stuff of these chicks usually will make its way here sooner or later.
Boy, it didn't take long for you to find this, Danny.
Of course not.
That's not an easy URL to remember, by the way.
They say I'm a man.
Magellan of the internet.
Yeah.
They say I'm a man who knows how to get things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was
Old red.
if it was teensexting.com, I'd go, all right, he was lucky. But look at this URL. There's like dashes and underscores and
Danny's the Rain Man of the internet, I swear to you.
Yeah.
Well, here we go.
It's like, Danny, find this. Boom, he's found it.
How about a link to your pals?
Not a problem. Dan.
Why don't we check this out?
Cell phones transmitting child pornography.
What?
Yes, more.
See, this is the news trying to sex it up.
Sex it up.
This is the news just trying to get a little more dramatic. It's teenage girls, it's teenage boys. Technically, I guess it would be child porn, but in their world, they're not thinking they're trading child porn.
Before you even get to the story, the news people are despicable because last night I saw a story about this prostitution ring. These guys would go over this house and there'd be prostitutes over there, and this woman that was also a mother was running this apartment with this sex ring in it. And apparently she had a couple of 16-year-olds dancing. And that's why we got that story, too?
Yeah, we'll do that.
But the way the guy was talking to another gentleman about the story, all he would bring up was the 16-year-old. Because the other one was like, yes, and there was prostitution going on and this. And the guy would be like, but the 16-year-olds, were they available for prostitution or just dancing? Well, as far as we know now, they were partially clad and dancing. It's like, and then, but the prostitution that was going on there, some people were arrested. The mother was arrested. It's despicable that the mother of these 16-year-olds that were semi-nude dancing, he could not get enough of just talking about these nude, semi-nude 16-year-olds.
Because that keeps people tuning in.
Yeah, of course, I wasn't going anywhere.
Whether you think it's hot, whether you think it's despicable, you're going to keep watching the story because of that.
Yeah.
It worked on you, Ant? The strategy worked?
Oh, it worked perfectly.
Yeah.
The remote, I threw the remote out the window just in case I accidentally hit it.
You ever do that? You sit on the remote right in the middle of a really important part of a movie or live show? Or mess up your DVR by changing the channel by accident, forgetting that you're on DVR.
My favorite is a lot of times I'll leave the remote up on top of the blankie.
Yeah.
And then you go to pull the blanket up to your shoulders because it gets a little chilly, and you launch the remote about 10 feet across the room and hear it smash on the floor. It's like, son of a bitch, now I gotta get out of bed.
I'm too drunk to get out of bed and get it now.
It's cold out there, and 2 in the morning, you're fumbling with iCrusties trying to put batteries in the right way. And one battery rolled under the dresser, and it's just a mess.
Not fun. Here's the hooker story, and then we'll do the sexting.
Hooker! I thought I was doing very well with you.
Russell Brand remaking Arthur. Look, we're all over the place now. Yeah, he's writing some kind of remake to Arthur.
What black guy is playing Arthur?
No kidding. Well, you know who Russell Brand is, though, right? The white dude.
Yeah, but it just sounds like something where they take a black guy and make Arthur.
You think?
All hip and and gangster.
They're redoing it. Another great comedy they can't leave alone.
Yoko won an Oscar for that.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
You're not going to do better.
Leave it alone. What are you going to do?
I mean, it's a long way from actually making it on the screen for us to watch, but it was in the paper yesterday that he's attempting to rewrite that or remake that or whatever. All right, here we go. Hooker mom had daughter dancing at sex party.
Some house party we have here with its host supposedly offering sex for cash. Just the beginning. Detroit cops busted in on 19 suspected prostitutes and their accused Johns. But here's what gets me. Police say 2 teenage girls were at this party, dancing half naked on stage. They're 16-year-olds. Even worse than that, one of their moms is accused of being the host. Here she is, some role model, huh? She's one of 4 under arrest. Let's get more details on this. Joining us, Sheriff Warren Evans from Wayne County Sheriff's Office. As clean as you can. What kind of scene? It's
as clean as you can.
Dude, I think this is the guy I was watching.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I hope
he
so.
Can't get enough of the 16. Just bringing up the 16-year-old.
One so far.
Yeah.
As clean as you can. And please talk very slowly.
Yes.
What kind of scene? It sounds horrible, especially for 16-year-olds.
It sounds horrible.
Especially for 16-year-olds. That's his second 16-year-old reference.
And he has to stay in the news voice, too.
Dude,
sounds horrible.
Sounds horrible. I mean, as clean as language as you can, but, filthy it up as much as you can.
Yeah, Walk the line for us, will you?
Yeah, please.
We need ratings.
As clean as you can. What kind of scene? It sounds horrible, especially for 16-year-olds.
Yeah, well, so much for the fundamental responsibility of mothers protecting their children, for sure. About 19 prostitutes in the house, about 20 other Johns, the 2 underage girls, an armed doorman, plenty of ecstasy and marijuana and other drugs being sold, and a number of firearms confiscated.
Oh, see, is that where it cuts off?
No, we got another clip, hopefully.
Oh, because right after that, I think he went like, yes, but the 16-year-old.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The 16-year-olds.
That was it. This is the guy I saw. I was just like, I was watching this laughing, going, this guy cannot get enough of these 16-year-olds. He had to keep bringing them up.
Nice.
The 16-year-olds, we get word they were dancing half naked. Were they selling themselves for money? Were they prostituting themselves?
My sense is that was part of it, but it wasn't part of the actual raid here, so I can't speak to it in this particular situation. But clearly they were dancing for money, nude and semi-nude.
Oh, so what's going to happen to this?
Did you hear that? Yeah. He actually went, oh. That was a groan of pleasure. That was a I made that groan at the computer a few times. What is that? Listen to the sound he made.
Semi-nude.
So what's
he actually got caught going, yeah, I'm on the news.
Nude.
So what's going to happen to this daughter? What about and the other 16-year-old as well? What happened to her?
Well, they're in shelters right now. We'll have to look and see what the...
Wow, what's going to happen with this daughter? Actually, he probably meant to say, what's going to happen to this mother? It sounded awkward because he knew there were 2 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
So listen to the way he says that. He means to say, what's going to happen to this mother? But he's so fixated on these girls that he had to say that, and then he goes, and the other one to make up for it. Believe me, I watched this. He was fixated on this.
So what's going to happen to this daughter? What about and the other 16-year-old as well? What happened to her?
Well, they're in shelters right now. We'll have to look and see what the placement is. Both
Lucky shelter.
kids have had extensive truancy problems in the past, along with petty crimes and delinquent acts in the juvenile court. So they're not new to confusion in their lives. So we're just going to see what we can do to turn them around, but that's never an easy task.
No, it's turn them around. It's such a sad thing when you think 16-year-olds.
Dude, I was roaring at this point. I'm like, how many more times is he going to say 16-year-olds? I like the idea of trying to turn him around.
Yeah, right?
I don't think that's what he meant, but...
Could give it the old college try, though, right?
He loves 16-year-olds.
You think? 19-year-olds, and you take away 3 years, and that made that we get it.
Yeah,
16.
we know. 16, all right.
16's the lucky number for that guy.
I'm so happy you had those clips, because I was watching that last night.
Yeah, we got it.
Going, what the hell is wrong with this guy? He loves 16-year-olds.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We were starting the show by talking about the sexting, though.
Yeah.
This is happening in the schools. And
Are 16-year-olds doing this?
Yes. Yes. They sure are. And then you got a teenager losing her virginity, on a class trip, and she accidentally texted someone about it.
Oops.
We'll tell you who after the break. Opie and Anthony.
Good morning. Opie and Anthony. Looking at some of the things that people will be talking about today, Anthony. First of all, not many people participated in the Day Without a Gay thing that was yesterday.
I noticed, I could not get a freshly cut flower arrangement that looked good at all. Thank God I didn't have to get curtains put up, things like that.
And you're waiting on the haircut.
Yeah,
until the hair plugs grow in.
They're not plugs. I saw somebody had something up there, but they went away. Somebody else had the same procedure. They're follicles.
John from John and K Plus 8 had the exact same procedure as you.
Did he?
I thought people were sick of the John and K thing, so I just blew off a phone call.
No, I'm waiting for them to, sprout in a little better, because it looks like I got like a mighty fine crew cut on the back of my head. And
you can scrub away now?
Oh, yeah.
That's weird.
I shampoo like a madman now.
And they said that's fine?
Oh, yeah.
Nothing's going to fall out?
No, they're all in there now. They're all it's part of my head.
Those individual hair plugs won't fall out?
They're follicles. They're not plugs. Plugs are big groups of hairs that were all knotty and nasty and stuff. It's the new technology. It's one hair at a time, one follicle placed in there. Bam, 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 bam. They stick your head thousands of times. Then they pop these one at a time in there.
You're going to do the big reveal after the holidays, right?
No, it's not even long enough.
No, I want to see it again.
Oh,
I saw it 2 or 3 days in, and now I don't want to see it until after the holidays and see where you're at.
We're talking like 6 months at least before I have any real significant, where you can, wow, look at that.
Look at his long locks.
Now it's like this big monk-like bald patch in the back because they shaved, the hair I had there, the wispy kind of hair, shaved all that off. To put in the follicles. And now it just looks silly.
You look ridiculous?
Now it just looks silly.
Without the hat?
Yeah, because the sides are kind of long because I haven't gotten it cut because I don't want to go get my hair cut because it just looks silly.
Just shave the whole thing down to the same size.
No, then I'm afraid the rest that is there ain't going to grow back.
It'll grow back.
No, I'm very frightened.
No, that's if you go all the way down the skin, you might have a problem.
No, I'm very scared.
All right. So, also, it's being reported today that Obama is going to be sworn in as
Barack Hussein Obama.
That's right.
He's saying that this has just been the tradition of the inauguration. They use the president-elect's full name during the swearing in. John Fitzgerald Kennedy. They've always done that. But who the hell would have thought, especially post 9/11, mind you, that we would be swearing in a president with the name Hussein in there? It's just, I was reading that last night, and without any, not even without my normal, son of a bitch, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah.
Rationale or irrationale, whatever you want to call it. I really thought about it and thought, wow, you know something? We're not even 10 years out from 9/11, where obviously radical Muslims flew planes into our buildings, where Saddam Hussein was running amok, and everybody seemed to have the name Hussein that somewhere in their name that was a Muslim extremist or terrorist. And now our president,
a mere 7+ years later,
is being sworn in as Barack Hussein Obama.
Yeah.
It's beyond me how quickly
it just shows you we could heal.
Is it healing or just we don't give a crap?
Well, Obama cared because during the campaign he made sure no one used his middle name.
Of course, because that was
a biggie, and anyone who did use his middle name, they said was trying to do some Islamic thing to him,
some harm. They were trying to tie him in
exactly.
Because, Hussein for the better part of the last almost 20 years, the name Hussein has not been very popular in this country.
I guess we could bring back the Hitler name finally.
Hitler should absolutely make a comeback. I think our next Hitler
or the name.
Our next president should have Hitler at least as the middle name.
And like people Hussein. Like that's crazy.
Is it?
How much
Hussein?
How much crazier is it?
Come on.
So you got that going on. Obama to be sworn in.
I want someone with the middle name Milosevic. He was a real cheery guy.
He woke up on the wrong side of bed a few times, huh?
Yes, he certainly did.
Wow. So you got that going on, and more teens are having
having what?
Well, we started the
humming contest.
We started the Anthony quiz thing yesterday. Why don't you guess? More and more teens are having these days.
Sex.
Well, that is a given.
That's the obvious.
What kind, my friend?
I would say sex of the variety where you can't have a discussion during it.
Nope.
No? Wait a minute. Sex where you can't have a discussion because someone's face is in the pillow?
Yup.
Wow.
Naughty.
16?
Probably 16, That's probably the going age for the teenager.
Are you
having
kidding?
This type of sex, I would imagine.
They're doing that. Is it because they're saving the other one for marriage?
Who was the lucky devil that had to do the research for this story?
I
mean, these stories just don't come out of nowhere.
Dude, how off limits was that? How off limits was that? In high school? Forget about it.
That wasn't even, in the discussion.
Here you are.
I'm worried laughing.
Hey, do you think, oh, God. This is so good. God, you're fantastic. Do you think I could you in the... Ow! Right, you could have just said no.
When we were growing up, if we suggested that, the girl would think you were a serial killer.
Of course, and then you'd have to be.
Yeah, right. They wouldn't even think twice. They would think you were some animal.
They were pinned to the mat.
Well, you want me
to... no way you would turn them over.
Yeah. You want me to read this story nice and slow?
Please.
All right, Ant. Can we say that word or probably not, huh?
I don't think so. We all know what we're talking about, right?
All right. How about every time I point to you, you could beep or something? Study reports
that sex
on rise among teens. That's right. A Colorado student who has been in a steady relationship for months
can't sit down. Is that part of the story?
Was recently cajoled.
Cajoled.
CAJOLED, cajoled by her boyfriend into some sexual experimentation.
Into speaking Greek?
He wanted to try
sex.
And even though the 20-year-old said she was okay with the idea, she nervously downed several drinks before their lovemaking began.
Good egg. Yep. That's what you got to do, man. That's what I did the first time I had to.
Give me a Seagram 7 and a prune juice.
What a good egg.
Give me a concoction called the Gaper.
I guess she's heard the stories. It's just a mystery.
Just something to, loosen yourself up with, figuratively and literally.
Within 15 seconds, Carrie, not her real name, said she was crying and asking him to stop.
Come on, you killjoy. You can't stop at that point. That's where, as a guy, you just got to go, ha!
You have to whisper, where's your stick-to-itiveness?
Yeah, come on.
They never did it again, but experts say that as social morales ease, more young heterosexuals are engaging in
sex,
a behavior once rarely mentioned in polite circles.
Yes, or impolite, whatever circles.
In new word, polite circles. Okay, recently, researchers at the Bradley Hasbro Children's Research Center in Rhode Island, God, lucky devils at this place, suggested that
sex
is on the rise among teens and young adults, particularly those who have unprotected regular sex.
Wow.
Experts say girls and young women like Carrie are often persuaded to try sexual behavior for the wrong reasons, to please a partner, to have sex without the risk of pregnancy, or to preserve their virginity.
Yes.
But many don't understand the health consequences.
What? What kind of health consequences? Don't ruin this.
All right, I'll skip that paragraph. And when women engage in
sex,
tissue may tear more readily, causing direct blood exposure to infected fluids.
Wow.
Yes.
Saw that coming.
Young adults confirm the reports of a rise in
sex,
including the perception that it's safe. I know some teens who did it just to try, and some who didn't have a condom available, said one 18-year-old Californian who did not want her name used. I think that it's less taboo simply because people are more open to trying new things, said her 23-year-old sister.
Wow.
The younger crowd might be scared by the idea of getting pregnant, so they assume it's safer. It takes a great amount of trust to try something new with somebody that you may or may not like, she said. I'd consider it if there was a ring on my finger. Otherwise, I feel I'd be losing some of my dignity as a woman.
Well, you would. Let's be honest here.
In the Hasbro study, I like they have to keep it.
Hasbro? Isn't that a toy company?
Yes, it sure is, Anthony.
Hasbro.
It sure is. In the Hasbro study, females who had
sex
were more likely to be living with their partners, to have two or more sexual partners, to have previously experienced coerced. What? This sentence doesn't make sense, does it? In the Hasbro study, females who had
sex,
right, were more likely to be living with their partners, comma, to have two or more sexual partners, and to have previously experienced coerced intercourse. Okay,
so they had a couple of partners already.
Right.
They live with their current partner.
Right, there you go.
And they were coerced into some kind of sex they didn't want to have.
Right. Males who engage in this behavior were more likely to identify themselves as being
homosexual,
bisexual,
or
undecided.
Well, that is risky behavior if you're switching. You're switch hitter. Sex.
Statistics indicate that a generational change has occurred, where people born in the 1980s and later may be more comfortable admitting to or showing interest in
sex.
Experts attribute interest in the behavior among heterosexuals in part to the proliferation of pornography in the 1990s. As with other sex trends, girls are more open to experimentation because pornography has become so easily accessible on websites like, and they give all the fun websites.
Fun sites.
Blank tube.
Yeah.
A lot of blank tubes and blank porns. Sites. And Foundry. Right? But with fewer educational media outlets and less sex education, young girls are clueless about hygiene, possible bladder or vaginal infections, and life-threatening diseases like AIDS. Right.
It's very. I was reading some stats last night, and it is very difficult for strictly heterosexual people to transmit AIDS, unless you're an IV drug user or something like that. If you're just hetero, you go wild.
You don't have much to worry about, right?
Yeah, and if your sexual partners have been, of a similar ilk, if you're not running around with the fast crowd, you're pretty much all right.
We're hearing, by the way, the speech that Anthony has given to many on different occasions.
Oh, yeah. Please don't think I mean this as fact. No, I was just showing you how I operate.
It's Anthony nude and laying on the side in the pillow going,
no, it's nothing. It's here you go. Let me show you something I printed out.
Looks like someone had a little paranoia last night. I had to look up some stats.
Looking up some stats. That was when I was going through all kinds of things. You ever get on? Well, obviously you have. You get on the computer and you're doing one thing, and then you end up somewhere else.
Yeah,
and that's what I did last night.
That's a big jump, though.
I just ended up. Well, at first I was on. nmania.com.
Of course you were.
Of course.
Of course you were.
The nwordmania.com, which oh my god. And then I got to some video sections. They have a little section there of nothing but crime videos.
Yeah.
So I like a good crime video. I like a good convenience store robbery video. Those are always fun when the poor Asian guy behind the counter has to use like a machete or something. He comes running out. There's one hysterical one. 3 homeboys come running into a convenience store, guns drawn, and the guy behind the counter pulls out his own gun. And they did a Three Stooges whoop, 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 where they're tripping over each other to try to stop their forward momentum to get back out the door. Oh, it was hysterical.
Did he shoot or no?
No, he didn't shoot. No one had a chance to do anything. They just ran out the goddamn door.
So they go from really tough to
Real
holy
tough
ass.
yeah. And then there's other ones where if I was working behind this counter, I would be like, oh my God, I'm getting robbed before it even happens. There's one guy walked in, his hoodie was pulled so close you could barely see his eyes. His hands were in the pocket of this heavy coat. His head's down, and he's slowly just milling about the front of the register area. And the guy the poor bastard behind the counter is just like, oh my God, I'm getting robbed.
What does that have to feel like?
And then the gun comes out, and he's getting robbed.
Right.
It's just there's nowhere to go, nothing to do. You just got to be robbed, I guess.
That's horrible.
Scary. I've been in an armed robbery. It's frightening.
I know. You talk about that. Yeah.
Armed robbery.
Scary.
What was it, a McDonald's or something?
Yeah, you just hear the yelling in the register.
Was it a McDonald's? Because
Yeah.
I don't want to give him a horrible plug like that. But
no, it was.
the facts are the facts.
But you're afraid you're getting a shot.
Did you go right down on the ground and do exactly what they said?
Well, me and my girlfriend were looking out the window at the time, eating. There was a side thing, and
did you see believe it wasn't happening and keep eating and have inane conversation?
Yeah, it's August. 3 guys with parkas just ran in. What do you think, hun?
Is yelling going? It's August.
That's what it was. It was August and 3 guys with parkas.
Oh my God!
See, there's a problem right there. There's going to be some action.
I used my detective-like intuition to realize they couldn't be chilly. It's 84 degrees out.
My brother had an experience recently, very recently, where he was, it was before it got cold. He was on his motorcycle, stopped. He was riding down from up north somewhere, and was stopped at one of these rest areas where you can get food. They got the big Burger Kings in there or whatever, and parked his bike, went in. It was about 2:30 in the morning. No one in there but the employees and some guys, he said, that looked like they were gang members, some real thuggish guys that really weren't doing anything except watching who was coming in. So Joe got his stuff and then turned around. He had his helmet with him. So he put his helmet on just in case, so he wouldn't be able to take a blow to the head. And he walks out of the place and notices right when he walks out, they all followed him out to the parking lot. So he did a quick walk, and they started walking faster. Got on the bike, kicked that thing over, and they started running towards him. And he gunned it, and they were running at it. It was like, he said it was like something out of a zombie movie.
Maybe he just dropped his wallet or something.
Yeah, that must have been it. They wanted to work him over and rob him.
How many guys were there?
He said there was something like 5, 6 guys that were just milling around looking for a mark. Looking for some guy that was in there alone.
That's scary.
Coming in and yeah.
Wait, they didn't rob the convenience store, though?
No, they didn't rob the store. They were just hanging in there waiting for a mark.
It was a rest area.
Get them out. Yeah, rest area.
Where they have the coffee shop, the
bathroom,
fast food joint, the bathrooms, little
like that. So he
magazine, newspaper stand thing.
He got out of Dodge real quick. Said,
He's
you know,
lucky.
he said, he goes, he always has that kind of intuition or paranoia, whatever you want to call it. But if there's somebody that just doesn't want to seem racist, those are called victims. You know, Patrice does a great bit about it, about being a black guy and seeing guys with, shaved heads, skinheads. He's like, he's not going to walk past thinking they're cancer patients. You know, he's going to give them a wide berth. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. If your intuition or some kind of internal little alarm goes off, you got to say to yourself, look, I don't care if I'm offending somebody or something. I got to protect myself, trust my instincts, and either run, keep an eye out, don't turn your back. I watched the video because this is what I was doing last night. I was watching videos, and this one was in some Asian country. Some gentleman goes in to an ATM. Another gentleman walks in behind him, and the guy starts taking cash out without paying any attention to the guy behind him. It's a very small vestibule. Now, I've been in those situations and kept a constant eye on who's behind me. Sometimes even turning sideways where I could still block my PIN number, but I'm looking at what that guy's doing behind me. The mirror's there. There's just ways to see what they're doing. This guy has a knife, giant knife, just stabbing the guy. He killed him.
You saw this video?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you guys with the death video?
You know what? I can't watch the explicit ones. Security camera, though, I can watch those.
That's probably wasn't as gory on a security.
And it wasn't gory. The guy, he collapsed in the corner. The guy went through, rifled through, got his money, and ran out of the vestibule and left him there to die. But it's one of those things where if someone walks in while I'm at the ATM, during the middle of the day, things like that, you're at a crowded one where there's like 6 across and everyone's there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little more security in numbers. I mean,
at night I go to the drugstores. And
you need people around you at 2 in the morning.
I go to the corner stores where there's people. No way am I going into the obvious bank ATMs anymore.
That's it.
Especially at night. And with the economy where it's at, I'm telling you, more people are going to get robbed, more people are going to get mugged.
You got
to be more careful and be looking around a little more these days.
One hand punching in the number, one on the piece, my friend.
Nice.
One on the piece, one punching in the number, and keeping an eye out.
There
Someone
you go.
tries any shenanigans, that's it.
Would you shoot?
If someone's trying to kill me?
Well, I didn't say kill. They're just trying to rob you at an ATM.
Trying to rob
That's a
me.
tough call, right?
All depends. If I feel my life is threatened, but if I'm being robbed, I would feel my life is being threatened.
Yeah.
So you never know unless you're in the circumstance.
Sure.
Did I tell you that incident me and Kenny had at a convenience place recently? It was nothing completely that would have required shooting, but did I tell you we were walking in this place at night? It wasn't like a gang thing, and we were walking out, and there's this big guy walks in. Did I tell you this? And I walk out, and I could feel this guy staring at me.
See?
But he's a big white dude, and I'm like, I figured he was a fan because I could feel him looking, and then there was 2 doors. He actually circled right around and came right back outside the store. So I figured he was at the show that we had just done. And I feel him, and he goes, you looking at something? It was like something out of a bad...
Oh, my God.
And I was texting. I'm like, what? I thought he was joking. I thought it was a fan kidding. It was
yeah.
And he's like, what, did I say something stupid? And he was a big dude, and you could see that he was a problem.
Yeah.
And me and Kenny just stopped, and I'm like, what? And then I realized Kenny told me after he had stared at the guy to make sure I got past him okay when he came in. So he might have been more annoyed at Kenny. And we just got in the truck, and the guy's like, yeah, get in the truck. Now start the truck. And it was like...
Start the truck. Put it in reverse.
The guy was like, you better lock your doors.
Check your mirrors. He just goes through the whole thing. Check your tire pressure. And what an ass. Kenny could probably get... Yeah, but the guy doesn't even understand what Kenny could have done.
Yeah, but you don't understand. Kenny's such a robot, he probably wasn't even fazed by the whole thing.
He didn't move.
Yeah, Kenny's like, yeah, whatever.
Dummy.
Because
Kenny never panics.
Never. And Kenny... Because Kenny is a big dude.
He's a problem.
And he also, let's be honest, he has he's an ex-police.
Yeah.
He's got a license.
Certain resources.
Yeah, he
at
might
his disposal.
He might shoot you.
Yeah.
He might shoot you.
Right.
And I said to him, like, is this a case where if a guy like that big, because he was a big linebacker dude,
Sure.
would you, is that a shootable guy? And he's like, no. I'm like, what do you mean no? He goes, it has to be an equal force thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you had a gun on you, I'm like, and that guy charged, if you had a gun, you wouldn't use it? And he goes, no, I would, fight. And then if you have to, you do, but you never.
That's Kenny, too.
But Kenny knows what he's doing with his hands, too.
Kenny's 6'5".
Equal force is Kenny fighting that guy. Kenny's a big guy. If you're a little guy and some monster's coming up to you, it's a questionable call, but, in certain circumstances, it's legitimate self-defense.
Yeah, the big guy, I'm talking about the story about the big guy who we were across at the convenience store. Remember that guy?
Oh.
And I was asking if you would, is it okay just to shoot that guy?
Gentleman.
Yeah, he was very drunk.
Yeah, he was drunk.
He was big, though.
Yeah, he was stocky.
To you. To Kenny, he was like, average size.
What were you thinking? Like, if this guy tried anything, he's drunk, one punch, he'd have been down.
Well, it was the middle of the night. We were coming out of a convenience store. He was walking in. So, I gave him the once-over. And then we were passing, and then Jim was behind me. So
we heard this part.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you were getting, yogurt. The other thing you do very well.
But anyway, then we got out. We were getting into my truck, and he's like yelling at us, like, "Get out of here! Like, what are you looking at?"
He chased you away.
Yeah.
He sure got you.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, if he would have tried something, what would you just would have clocked him?
Yeah, he was so drunk.
He'd have been down.
Yeah.
All right.
He was that drunk.
You would have had no problem with this guy.
Yeah, I'd chop him in the windpipe.
Just watch him make those funny sounds.
Yeah, I'm not going to fight fair.
Nothing better than the chopped in the windpipe gasping for air sound that somebody makes.
Kenny, does that hurt?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then if I was in a good mood, I'd take out his kneecap.
Kenny's getting excited.
Kenny's all smiles just thinking about it.
And then I punch him in the stomach for good measure, just to knock the wind out of him.
That he can't breathe through his windpipe with.
And then, since he wanted my undivided attention, I punch him right in the heart so it will skip a beat.
When you do the ear thing, the pew.
Oh, that
The
one.
ear clap?
Yeah.
Where you increase the pressure in the ears by clapping your hands over
Thank
the
you
ears.
for reminding me of that.
Does that work?
Yeah, I'll put that in my repertoire.
That one is really bad. That could do some
That could
serious
kill you, right?
damage.
Yeah,
Can it kill you, or just
I heard
it'll
kill
rupture
you.
your eardrums?
Yeah.
You'll be bleeding from the ears. That'll freak you
I
out.
don't know about killing you.
All right.
The nose smash is always good, too.
Nose smash.
Sideways, though, right? Don't go up, because then you could kill him, and then
Yes.
you're in jail.
Side of the nose.
You got to go sideways on that one.
I don't know. I never
That's
did.
what I
Whatever.
heard.
Just hit it.
Yeah.
You can't go up like this. Because supposedly the bone could go up into the brain.
Real
And
bone in there.
Well,
It's cartilage.
no, there's bone way up high.
I think that's an urban myth
Hell no, the cartilage is attached to the bone.
about actually.
You ever see a skull? There's like a slight bone
You ever see
way
a
up
skull?
here.
It's empty. The nose is a big hole.
That's
There's nothing there.
That's the cartilage part, but then
Yeah.
it's attached to that bone that kind of
Cartilage is squishy.
protrudes out a little bit.
Cartilage
Give me
is
a picture of
Why
a
your
skull.
nose moves.
Push boogers into a guy's brain?
Yeah.
I'm not talking this part, Ann. I'm talking way up here is a bone.
Yeah, but if you hit him at the bottom of this, you're just going to squish his nose.
No, because it keeps going, and then you get to that bone area, and then boof.
I don't know about that. I think that's urban legend.
Now, see?
Let's look into
It's
it.
very slight, but it protrudes out a little bit on the skull.
A little. You got to crack
Just
him in the
enough.
bridge of
Look,
the
see?
nose.
At the top there.
How is that getting into your brain?
I don't know.
It hits between your eyeballs.
You break that, it fragment.
E-Rock, get in here. I want to do it to E-Rock and see if he dies.
Yeah, he'll let us.
He's missing the part you need inside.
All right, we got to take a break. We really do. So where were we? Oh, sexting. We got to talk about the
sexting.
Basically, texting naked pictures. All the kids out there. Not all of them. You might have one of the good ones, but a lot of the teenagers are texting naked pictures around the school.
We are,
and we did the naughty sex thing. Oh, and then we got the teen. She gets so excited she lost her virginity on a class trip. She accidentally texted the wrong person. We'll tell you who that person is after the break. Opie, Anthony, and Jim Norton. Moving right along. We got a good one today. We have a very sexy show today.
Sexy.
We still got to talk about sexting. That's something the kids are doing in school. And instead of like flirting like we did, Back in the day.
That day, whenever that was.
Yes, but now they're just texting kind of like flirty pictures to each other, sometimes naked pictures to each other to get the attention of the opposite sex. And then we got a girl, she lost her virginity, and she was so happy she wanted to text somebody and tell them about it, and she texted the wrong person. We're going to tell you who that is. But right now we got breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Breaking sex news. It's all about the sex today on the Opie and Anthony Show.
No problem with that.
We got another teacher having sex with a student.
You never hear about this.
I don't know. You're not going to hear this in the mainstream media, but we love these stories. Because it just brings us back to being, teenage boys filled with you-know-what, wanting to get rid of you-know-what. And it's safe to say that pretty much every guy listening to this show wouldn't mind this happening when they were 15 or 16. I'm sorry, that's just how it is.
Well, this is 17, apparently.
Right. I mean, I guess there is a double standard when you hear about 15-year-old girls having sex with, male teachers. There's more of an outrage, I guess. But, guys, we're hoping for this. Every day we go to school, we're hoping for this.
I'd love to read this, but it's printed... the writing is like fortune cookie writing.
Yeah.
There is... The text is so small on what is printed here.
Well, Ann, I'll take care of...
nearly unreadable.
No, I'll take care of this one, being the youngest one on the show.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you had your eyes done. Shut up. If I could read with my follicles, I'd be the best reader.
Yeah, I got pretty much X-ray vision from getting my eyes done.
That's what you need to read this font. It's ridiculous.
It's horribly small.
Would you have magnifying glasses put in your head? This font stinks.
Look, I'll tell you right now, they're not even advertising today, but this reading, courtesy of Diamond Vision.
Yes.
That's right, people.
Sure.
I had horrible eyes, no glasses, no contacts. At the time, they got me down to a 2015, and I could read this font like it's nothing, my friends. Michigan teacher accused of having sex within view of students. See? Look at me. Read that like
that's the headline. It's big.
Oh.
There's you don't notice those. That isn't like scribble under it. It's actual words.
A former Michigan high school. See, now I have to slow it down a little bit because it is very tiny. A former Michigan high school teacher was in court Monday after being arraigned on a charge of indecent exposure and having sex with a student. How hot is this?
Yay.
Why can't the mainstream media say, how hot is this, ever?
Editorializing?
Yeah, but they editorialize all the time. That's the new thing with the news. Like the guy with the 16-year-old teen thing we did earlier.
Couldn't say it enough.
You don't think that guy was a little turned on by that story? Just a little bit?
A little.
I'm sure he can't really say that. He'd be fired, but, he's a red-blooded male. I hate when they say that. A red-blooded male. What the hell does that mean?
He's got red blood in him or something.
Well, but don't we all?
Male.
Kelly Ann Abdo, it looks like, of Luna Pier, pleaded innocent to the count. I love when you get caught red-handed and you still plead innocent. Monroe County prosecutor William Nichols' office said Abdo is accused of having sex with a student in a car on a public street next to a house where there was a high school party going on.
See, perhaps they should have gone down the road a little further.
Yeah.
Instead of in front of the house,
Other students told the prosecutor's office that they saw the two naked in the car. How hot is this?
Who are these other rats?
I know. Someone's always got a rat. God, a bunch of busybodies.
It's the nerds.
It's the jealous.
That now rule the world.
It's the jealous guys, too. They
which are the nerds
car,
for the most part.
They saw the naked woman there and the guy, and they're going at it. And it's like, hey, I'm not getting any tonight. I'm ratting.
Yeah, but it's not like the cool kids because they think they're going to have a turn.
Yeah.
It's the ones that have no doubt in their mind that this would never happen to them. They're the ones telling. Other students told the prosecutors, they saw them naked in the car. Wow. The prosecutor's office also said Abdo is being investigated but has not been charged in another case involving inappropriate sexual relations with a 17-year-old student. Look how hot she is,
She's not that hot, dude. She's okay.
Really? The picture almost
all right. She's not. There have
a little
much
blurry.
hotter teachers.
She's a dumb face.
Well, we have a theory on this, and we did this bit on the show. Ugly teachers get way more time for this.
Oh, hell yeah.
Than the really hot teachers. We went down the list, and the pigs were getting like 10 years, and and the hot blondes with the blue eyes were getting like probation.
Yeah. I'll tell you something. As far as ethics goes, there's a problem. But as far as the age goes, the guy's 17. That's just stop. There's no problem there as far as some kind of an age thing goes. But a teacher and a student, there is a conflict there. I mean,
obviously.
Can't have a teacher banging a student. Kind of makes disciplining the class a little difficult when they could just yell out, hey, slut. What's the answer to, the problem on the board?
Yeah. Well, and then,
hey, whore. Well, I don't want homework tonight.
And the kid's 17. She doesn't look like she's more than 25 tops, right?
Yeah, she looks like one of those teacher's aide things.
Kind of right out of college, started teaching. She might be as young as 22, 23. What was that?
She's a mountain person face.
It was either Jimmy farting or we have those big bullfrogs in the studio somewhere.
She looks like I recently watched from Deliverance, the banjo kid. She had that same type of dumb face, like just a vapid look.
Oh, that's a horrible visual. I think she's better looking than that.
She's awful.
I got to see a better picture.
Horrid banjo kid.
Yeah.
Oh, what a face on him.
I want to know what happens to that kid.
They just showed him. He's 52.
Really?
Yeah, I swear to God.
He's 52?
Yes.
Let's see the picture.
Are you lying? Are you acting?
No, he's not acting.
Wonderful. You're using a tissue in your hands so they're not moving awkwardly.
No, it's actually true.
Abdo was a math teacher and volleyball coach at the Monroe High School. She has since been on paid administration leave since the accusations began in May after an internal investigation. She'll be back in court February 19th.
She got an internal investigation.
Love those stories.
Yeah, the sexy teacher.
It brings you right back to reaching puberty and just wanting to.
I see nothing wrong with that though. 17?
Nah.
I remember, at 17, there was no problem with that. You're not going to be traumatized because you're having sex with somebody that's older.
Hell no, you're paying more attention in class.
Stop it.
So, what do you child?
Yes, merely a child, right?
It shouldn't happen, obviously, but it's really not.
Shouldn't happen.
It's not going to damage the
teacher-student, not because of the age. That's just silly.
It's not going to damage the boy too much.
Someone recently did get in trouble because of some kind of a teacher-student thing, but they were 18, so it wasn't the age, but the teacher got in trouble because there's some kind of law in the books that says an educator cannot have sex with a student.
Right.
And it's a law that you can go to jail for.
Even a college professor?
It all depends on the state you're in. Wherever it was that I was reading, and of course I don't have all the information, it was a crime. Yeah, crime, yeah.
All right, let's get back to the sexting thing, finally. We just did some off-roading. We're back on the highway.
Slacks.
What do you got there, Jimmy?
I'm just looking at old footage of Joe the plumber waving with. Why would anybody listen to this guy? I don't get it.
Because he's got a big head like the Great Gazoo.
God, he looks like Bruce Willis. Who cares?
Well, the latest, he's what is he saying? What's Joe the plumber saying? Says John McCain appalled him. This guy just wants to keep his fame going as long as possible.
He's got a book out.
What?
And he's doing a book tour.
What?
And on the book tour, he said on a radio show that he got upset.
Called I Hate Your Guts?
No, I don't think so. I think it might be Joe the plumber.
Oh.
What could he possibly write about?
Plumbing. There I was, fluxing a fitting.
What's the name of his book?
I'm not.
I'm sure it has some
laying pipe.
I was going to say some twist on a plumbing thing.
On a plumber thing.
But he's taken the average Joe position that Americans didn't like the bailout, and he got upset when McCain supported it. That's what ticked him off.
You know what's worse than Joe the plumber writing a book? The people that are going to buy Joe the plumber's book.
I don't think it's going to be that many.
Who the hell would buy a Joe the plumber book?
Everyone is sick of this douche.
Yeah.
Why would you? Are you going to wrap it up and give it to someone for Christmas? The Joe the plumber book? Ugh.
Even I've had to step back and accept the fact that Obama is going to be the president in a few weeks.
Yeah.
I've even had to sit back and just go, all right, look, we're going to have to deal with this. It's not like Joe the plumber has any new insight or anything that I'm going to want to read about or care what he says, his opinion. I kind of like the way he jumped all over Obama in that moment You can't turn a moment like that into an entire career. Jesus.
Well, I actually look up to Joe the Plumber. I find his insight to be keen, and I think he tells it like it is. I'll read his book. I'll give his book a quick read.
Proper usage of a plunger.
Yeah, Chapter 8, Logs.
Yeah. Travis, you got the name of the Joe the Plumber book?
It's Fighting the American Dream, and it's currently sitting at number 13,329 on Amazon.
Yeah, but is that pre-sales?
Yeah, it comes out this month.
Oh, wow. Who's buying it ahead of time on Amazon?
Can we please get Joe the Plumber and interview him?
Yeah, we would love an interview with Joe the Plumber.
And only ask
Make
him,
that happen.
Only ask him plumbing questions.
Plumbing questions. You know, sometimes my toilet makes that running sound, and I've even tried to bend that little metal bar with the big ball in there, and it just still runs. Do you think it's about time I replace the innards with a new flapper system?
How's the best way
Joe, what do you think?
How's the best way to unplug a toilet if you don't have a plunger?
Joe, I'm refinishing my basement. I got a lot of pipes. Should I go with polyethylene tubing or copper?
Yeah. Joe, is it true that rats can come up out of your toilet?
Yeah.
Or is that an urban myth?
If you ever see an alligator flush down there and then eat a Con Ed worker?
Right.
Joe, question?
How many
Answer,
condoms
please?
have you really seen in the sewer system?
I would love to call Joe the Plumber over because my toilet was clogged and have him unclog it and find out that it's all just pages from his book that was crumbled up and flushed down my toilet bowl.
How great would that be?
As he's got to pull him out and go, hey, wait a minute.
And then have an extra book that you can hit him over the head with and go, beat it, stupid.
Leave, dummy.
That's right. Take a hike for yourself.
Right.
Joe the Plumber.
Everyone gets to be famous. Everybody.
Yeah, well.
Enough with this Joe the Plumber. How much money did he get to write a book?
Don't be a plumber hater.
Snake this.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Snake this.
I'd imagine he got a few $100,000 to write this book easy.
Yeah, probably.
Just the fact that anybody thinks that it will be a relevant, like, really enjoyable book. Who cares?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. We're going to take a break. We'll do the sexting thing, hopefully after the break, if we could, keep a focus here.
Impossible.
And then we got the girl. She loses her virginity. She's excited. She wants to text a friend, and she texted someone different by accident.
Oops.
And Jimmy might have a little something on that and how that happens, right?
Yes.
Little insight to that. And then you got women taking a bath at a KFC. In the sink where they wash the dishes.
Hey, this happened recently with a guy.
That's kind of a who, you're ripping me off thing. We'll explain next. And then the Germans, those wacky Germans.
What are they up to now? Don't tell me. Wait a minute. Taking over the world.
Yeah. And
they?
I think we have to be more sensitive because of Marcy yesterday. So maybe we could get permission to do this story from a certain part of the community.
Well, I don't understand. What are the Germans up to? I can't wait.
I'm going to tell you ahead of time. I'm not using this as a tease, but we'll get into this. German nursing service caters to gay elderly.
German nursing service caters to gay elderly. What's the difference between gay and hetero elderly? When you're elderly, you're not really.
Well,
what, you can rest on their nose?
The difference is the age.
He remembers the actual Roman war helmet. It was really used in battle.
Right. Gay elderly starts at, 40.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gay is so much for the young.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
I know.
We think, anyway.
Old queens are sad. They're just sad. They're lonely.
We'll explain next. Opie and Anthony, stay there. What's up, America? We're still broadcasting to America, just in a very different way these days. 877-212-0-A. It's Opie and Anthony. We're looking at the Jennifer Aniston pictures that are in the paper today. She did a photo shoot for GQ magazine, and in one shot, she just has a tie. You can't even call it wearing a tie. It's kind of just draped over her, her neck, and one side of the tie is just covering one of her boobies.
Covering up, the nip area.
She's 39, doesn't look anywhere near 39 years old. Very, very nice. And I were discussing that during the break. The older the women get, the more they have to kind of do some trickery in the bedroom.
Yeah. You got
to show off that ace.
The ace is very important, and you got to stretch it. You know.
Yeah.
If the skin loosens up on that A, then you got to make sure you're bending your legs a lot.
Girls understand that, and they do a little voodoo. Eventually, they have to go into TP position to make it look like anything.
It's like hands and knees, and then like lean all the way back.
Yeah.
And that stretches it out pretty good.
For the younger women, they do the plank.
Oh, they could lay down. They could arch their back.
They don't even need to at first.
They're backwards.
And then you get older and older, and you start like going like this.
Snare drum.
Yeah. All right. So check out the Jennifer Aniston pictures. They're pretty good. They're pretty good. There you go. See, look, young broad. That's what they do. Very basic position. They don't have to like do any craziness to make it look good. The older you get, though, man, it's like a hinge. You gotta
you gotta touch the back of your head to the top of your ass. Like, yeah, is that stretching out? And then tuck your knees into your chin at the same time.
What's that yoga pose called? Meet Elizabeth Freisinger, I'm going to say. Meet Elizabeth Freisinger. She lost her virginity and accidentally texted her dad.
Pretty rare for this vicinity. Quint. That little rhyme he did.
I should have known that one.
Virginity.
Should have known that one. I'm going to be depressed all day now.
Saved her virginity to 103. I don't remember the actual poem, though. Damn it.
Me neither.
Screw it.
Well, why don't we meet Elizabeth Freisinger, okay?
Let's meet her.
That's what the headline says. Meet Elizabeth Lizzie Freisinger, 18. Isn't she precious?
Aw.
That's what I'm just reading.
Is there a picture?
Yeah, she's hot.
She's eight. She's eight.
Oh. Why don't I have these pictures?
Because you're not privileged enough to have them?
You know, it is ridiculous. This should be right on top.
It's in your pile.
It probably isn't.
It's in your pile of stories.
Ian ignores his pile.
Yeah, he doesn't look at his
never
pile.
looks at his pile.
Why would he? Why would he?
Why would you look at your pile?
Pictures. I don't see this picture in my pile.
Is that Ant's pile?
You got a pile of stories every morning you could leaf through there, Anthony.
Piles.
And then we see which ones we like and we go with. So today we decide to sex it up a little bit for everybody.
Oh, my God.
I know. We'll get to that part.
Oh, my
Don't do the big
God.
reveal yet, Ant.
No,
Please don't do it.
I'm not, but I'm just looking and, oh, my God.
You see the abrupt changing of the subject? Here we go. Meet Elizabeth Lizzie Freisinger, 18. Isn't she precious? She's also mind-blowingly stupid. But not according to Jim Norton. Jimmy thinks that this is very easy to do.
Yep.
Elizabeth, a senior in Cleveland, let's get her on the phone, went on a class trip where she lost her virginity on the beach. Apparently, it was GR8.
Oh, yeah?
What was the name of the John and Kate plus 8 book? I don't want to forget that.
Oh, bless babies.
Bless me.
She said it was great. Grubber. What does grubber mean?
We know this because young Lizzie was so excited about her conquest, she texted her friend. Except it wasn't her friend. She accidentally texted her dad.
Ouch!
Class trip finished. Cue a slap to the forehead and widespread humiliation on the interwebs. Wait a minute. The only person that would spread this...
And a man in my position can't afford to be made to look ridiculous. He was the greatest piece of ass I've ever had, and I've had him all over the world.
All right, now I'm really confused. So you're a girl, you lose your virginity, you text it to your dad by accident. How are we reading about this today?
Unless
you texted it to a whole bunch of people and they went, oh, my God, you also texted it to your dad? Let me read more and see if we can get to the bottom of this. Since then, a pic of Elizabeth's iPhone below has been doing the rounds of the Internet, and a classmate of hers leaked her senior year picture to a Cleveland radio station to complete the story. Enjoy your 15 minutes of fame, Lizzie. We are sure this will help you win friends at Syracuse, where she has early acceptance. As yet, no name or photos have appeared of the lucky man.
I'm thinking somebody took a picture of it. She was like, could you believe what I did? Oh, my God. And then someone went, oh, crap, let me take a picture of that.
Yeah.
And then took a picture of it. and then
spread it around.
Yeah, spread it around.
Because the dad's not spreading this around. Like, look at my lovely daughter, what she's up to.
Well, when I heard it.
I want to read the text, and then we want to get to you, Jimmy, because Jimmy's going to defend this a little bit. So they got a picture of the iPhone, and up top it says Dad. So obviously she's texting Dad by accident.
You know what? I'm calling shenanigans.
I was thinking Bravo Sierra myself.
Yeah. Why are you saying it?
Just because it's on the net. Actually, before that, I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying it for? She's got AT&T service, and I see 5 bars of.
Nice. Little cell phone joke for everybody.
Yeah.
It says Dad at the top, and the first text is Lizzie, and she writes OMG, which is oh my God. We all know that.
Yes.
Just had first time on beach GR8! Exclamation point.
Yep.
Wish you were here. That's what she wrote.
Yeah.
The returning text says, I'm assuming this was intended for someone else, Lizzie. At that point, Lizzie's like, no. And then she looks and goes, oh, my God, I just texted my dad.
Yeah.
So then Lizzie, quick on her feet, she writes back, class trip is over tomorrow.
No, this is the father again.
He's continuing to write to her.
Oh, is that how that works? Okay, yes. I'm really sorry, Jimmy. So he continues by saying, class trip is over tomorrow, 7:10 a.m., Delta flight number. Use my credit card for taxi. He wants her out of there.
He is pissed.
Yes, get home
immediately.
I have another reason for shenanigans. Okay. Now that I'm looking at this a little further.
All right.
So she texts the father, and like with the iPhone, if you're having a text with somebody, there won't be a timestamp. But if there's a big enough gap between communications, it'll re-timestamp.
Yes, it will.
When a communication comes in. So you're to tell me that she texted her father by accident, and within a few minutes was able to book a flight and text it back to her without a timestamp ever coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
That might have.
How quick on his feet was he to book her a flight almost instantaneously? Because there's never. I mean, if I leave my iPhone for 2 minutes without a text, and then someone texts me, it'll update the timestamp to.
Yep.
So
I know exactly what you mean.
But sometimes there has to be a big gap. You're right, but I've had this thing with the iPhone.
She's a virgin. What are you talking about? Oh.
Wait, what did I say?
You're talking about.
Oh.
Big gap.
I'll have this. Hold you. I'll open this. I will a lot of times open my iPhone, and the way your text works, you have a bunch of your names, and at the beginning of each text is listed. So say I open it up to my friend who I was talking to, Bill Shatner, and I'll.
Certainly not.
And I'll text something, and I'll send it, and then I'll realize that even though his name was at the top, something in the computer on the phone had messed it up. And it's been sent to the wrong person. Many times I've gone to open one, and I hit the name, like one name here, Paige. Open it. Boom. Different text from somebody else.
Yes.
It screws it up, and I've had that happen a lot, so I'm always very careful about what I text. I have texted the wrong person. And I know how to read.
Yeah.
I know if there's, a big TS at the beginning of their name, I know what I'm doing. So that happens. And the timestamps, you'll get a timestamp. But a lot of times, if you text someone twice in a row, like it was her texting her dad, and then he texted, and the timestamp gap was not that big, that could show up without a timestamp.
You know what else I've had happen on the iPhone? Where you type in your text, you send it, you get a text from somebody else, and then the text you just sent is in the box waiting to be sent to this new person.
Many times.
What?
The thing you just sent to the right person
I'm just saying what
is now sitting there.
Wow.
Waiting to be sent. You got to backspace and delete the entire text before you type in something different. If you hit send accidentally, you'll send it to another person.
Not with the BlackBerry, my friend.
There is a little bug that they got to fix with that.
I love the BlackBerry.
That little problemo.
So, I don't know, man. Something seems fishy with this whole thing.
Stays in the sent box, too. Yeah.
It would have been hot, though.
In a text? Shut up.
If she wrote, oh, my God, I just had the first time, wish you were here, and he wrote, I assume this was intended for someone else, Lizzie, and she went, no, Dad, it wasn't.
No, Daddy.
No, Daddy. I've been watching you from afar. Anthony, here lies the body of Mary Lee. Died at the age of 103. For 15 years, she kept her virginity. Not a bad record for this vicinity. There you go.
Hey, Chiefy, don't forget your rubbers.
What part was that?
That was when they were loading up the boat, the Orca, to go out, and Brody's wife was all freaking out that he was going, and he was just, yelling like a crazy man, Captain Quint.
Yeah.
And he blurted that little poem out.
In the book, she had sex with Hooper.
With Hooper.
With Richard Dreyfuss's character.
Yes.
She had an affair with him.
Really?
And I think he died in the book, too.
Yes, he did. I do remember that.
Well, that's...
he got...
According to Peter Benchley.
I'm not reading that stupid book, then.
Wow. Not reading a 35-year-old book. Congrats.
Some books you don't need to read after you see the movie. You're like, wow, this is really good. I don't need a different version of this.
I do remember being a youngster in school and seeing some girl carrying around the book Jaws. And I looked at the cover, and I remember saying to myself, I go, that looks so stupid. I go, I couldn't imagine anyone being entertained by anything like that.
Was the book cover the girl swimming naked?
Yeah, it was pretty much the same thing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you were thinking to yourself that you could, take care of yourself to that. Yeah,
you could.
Going back to yesterday's show or
Chrissy
the day before.
Was great. The shark was like picking his teeth after being done with that. 1970, whatever.
They didn't know what they found on the beach when they saw that pile of seaweed.
Yeah. This was no shaving accident.
This wasn't Juan Epstein's head.
Oh, look at the little white lion cub born at the zoo in Serbia.
That's cute.
Look at him. He can barely walk. So it'll be lopping people's heads off.
Yeah.
It's
sure.
Wonderful.
He's cute now. Fast forward 6 months, he's sucking a jugular dry.
Yeah.
Some zookeeper.
I saw a great clip last night. Like I said, I spent just hours just perusing videos last night. This dummy, and of course it's in some former Soviet crap hole country, is feeding a bear that is chained up to a tree. And this woman is just out of range of the bear, and she's holding this food up with her arm really extended, and the bear would, get up, but it's chained, and she would drop the food in the bear's mouth. Not understanding the concept of reach, because the bear at one point gets up on his hind legs, and she's holding up, and the chain is taut against the bear's neck in the tree. The bear cannot move any further forward. But she's standing there with the little treat. The bear sticks his claw out and grabs her and pulls her right into him. Oh, it's
game
you just
over.
hear her go, ah! And the bear's just slapping her around. And then, of course, the trainer comes in with some stick.
Yeah.
And the bear let go. But, was she surprised?
Here it is.
There it is.
Nice.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Can we get that up on the website there, Stunt Brain? ONDayRadio.com. Good. Wow.
I don't even think that's... Yeah, there it is. Look at
bear,
this.
look at the bear.
Look at the bear's reach. Hey, I got you.
Oh, wow.
Hey, why don't you come over here and maybe I'll have you as a treat.
He grabbed her jacket.
Yep. And those claws pulled her right in. Look at that.
Is he biting her? Or
biting her arm. Trying to. Maybe just sniffing her armpit. He's got a fetish.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Little bear fetish.
And are you a fan of nature? I'm a fan of when fire wins. I'm a fan when animals win.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm a fan when nature in general wins.
I saw another one where this guy with a bow and arrow shot a moose, a big moosin,
right,
in the shoulder, and the moose just turned around and ran right at this guy. He missed him, but man, was he pissed.
Moose said, "You're not getting away with this one."
And moose are giant. They're like. People don't understand. It's not like a deer with big antlers. These things are huge.
You ever seen one?
Not live.
When we were
maybe
living,
at the zoo.
No, when I was living in Boston, I saw one.
Yeah, they'd show
driving
up
in.
Yeah,
no kidding.
Pigs. Them pigs.
Yeah. And they would try to have sex with us, right, Ann?
Yes.
But we were good boys.
Of course we were.
How
dummies.
stupid were we back then? No, I saw a moose on the side of the highway driving through New Hampshire. They're like you just said. You can't even comprehend how giant these things are.
Giant animals, those
just
moose.
giants.
I had a problem with a moose one time. It was an altercation at a Burger King. I felt that he cut me, and he said I was here first with my friend. I said, "No, you weren't. You're a wild animal." And he said, "Boo."
Be more funny.
All right, listen. Can we clear the field?
Clear the field.
So we can do the
men are going to do some drinking.
So we could do this sexting story finally.
Yeah.
And we would like some participation from the youngsters out there. 877-212-ONA. New danger. The kids are now sexting. It's like texting, but with sex.
Yes.
We'll explain next. Opie and Anthony, stay there.
Welcome back to the Opie and Anthony Radio Extravaganza. I'm the featured guest today, Jim Norton.
Today?
And every day. Yes. All right, Ant, I'll say it. God damn it, I'm going to L.A. tomorrow to do the Viper Room tomorrow and Saturday. Who cares? Opie right now is dropping a deuce, and he's got his little Opie legs kicked straight out, and Anthony is sitting on my left eating fruit. Fruit. Do we hope Opie's okay in there?
Yeah, of course he is. I've never seen somebody that actually has to expel as much waste during the day.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't even think that he processes food. I think that basically his inside is a long tube.
And it goes right from mouth.
Yeah, there's no intestine. It's a gutter. It's a giant gutter.
You're like a scared puppy all the time.
But dude, you just ate. It's like this is his process. Gulp, bathroom.
How embarrassing.
Why? That's why you're healthy.
So we all try to time that. That.
Oh, did you hear me say that you were on the toilet?
Oh yeah, of course.
That thing.
I heard the coming back music. I'm like, I timed this horribly.
Oh, boy.
You never want to be the guy that's still in the bathroom when the show comes back.
Hasn't even hit the water yet.
I'm a very healthy boy. That's number 4 for today, by the way, if you're keeping track at home.
Jesus.
I don't know why. Wow. I don't know why 4. Usually it's 2 to 3.
4.
All right, you want to do the sexting thing finally?
Yes.
Yes. And look at the phones lit with teenagers.
Oh, sex.
And even 13-year-old JC wants in on this. He's good for one every once in a while.
Our little pal.
Yeah, our little buddy. Let's get into this with this first clip.
Phones transmitting.
Hold on, I don't know what the hell's going on with
What?
Cell phones transmitting child pornography. Yeah.
No.
You know, it's hysterical the way they put it.
They're just pumping it up, making it sound a little more outrageous.
Technically,
it's, yes, child pornography.
Probably be right because, when you transmit images like that, it is a crime. And it is considered child pornography if it is somebody under, whatever age. I think it's under 18 photograph. Mm-hmm. Photograph nude.
No.
No.
You're technically allowed to have photos of naked kids as long as they're not posed in pornographic. There's a lot of these scumbag websites that were like where they had nude children and kids, maybe not totally nude, but they were doing kid things.
Yeah.
Not being posed seductively, and they got away with this on the stupid technicality. So I think it's about being sexually suggestive as opposed to just running through a field or whatever.
I think if you have a nude photo of a pubescent girl, I don't care what the hell she's doing. I think you're in trouble if it's found.
I don't know about that because look what Mapplethorpe did with art. Robert Mapplethorpe had a weird thing with art.
Well, they were talking like some coffee table books would have been considered child porn, and I think they still are. Like they're no one would enforce it, but technically, the letter of the law, it's a crime to possess that stuff. That was Pee Wee Herman's defense. He said had a lot of young nude boys photos, and he said it was it was art. He was a collector. And I don't think they bought it.
Well, did he go to jail?
No, but I think he, had to. I don't think he went to jail, but I think it was a violation of his probation or something. I'm not sure of the case. I'm talking on my ass over here.
It ruined him.
Yeah, well, that's him and Jeffrey Jones, that principal, were file traded.
Yes.
It's embarrassing, but who knows what one of them had on the computer that wasn't under that. And again, from what I know, I only remember because I remember the name of this one site that I was like, how is this not child porn? How is it not?
The ones where they're dressed in bikinis and stuff and kind of pose seductively, but they're clothed.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
There's some of those. What was that one that was the old one that we stumbled on, that Molly girl?
You know what,
I think she's 30 now. That was so many years ago.
I think she was 30 then, too. You're not fooling anybody by going into the pigtails.
I don't know, man.
Why don't we get into this? Because we got hot phones.
Cell phones transmitting child pornography. Yes, more teenagers than ever before are texting provocative pictures of themselves, either nude or partially naked. They call it sexting. 20% of students admitted doing it in a new study. Joining me now is the author of Kid Stress, is Dr. Georgia Whittakin. She's a psychiatry professor. Hi, doctor.
She wrote a book called Kid Stress?
Kid Stress.
What stress does a kid have? What stress does a little effer have?
Well, it's pretty stressful. Peer pressure and trying to get laid.
Yeah.
It was pretty stressful.
No, come on.
It really was.
Compared to what we deal with now? Not us. I mean, our lives are pretty good, but before we got to this point, it was a little rough.
It's all relative. As a kid, you don't have. I don't think your mind has as big a space in it for stress, so the little things freak you out. Once you get older, you get all jaded and you don't give a crap. But as a kid, there was a lot of stress. Walking around trying to cover up my goddamn cystic acne with my funny jokes and not getting laid.
What the hell is cystic acne?
Oh, it was horrible. Big friggin' nodules. Constantly walking around looking like I was beat up. It's terrible. And they didn't have Accutane back then.
Did you bring in those pictures?
So I went to some stupid doctor and old Doc Esslinger back in San Juan Capistrano. He goes, you know what I think you ought to try? X-ray therapy. X-ray therapy.
What the hell is that?
I don't know. I didn't do it.
I wouldn't.
I'm not going to X-ray my head.
That's crazy.
Great. I'll trade the acne for tumors.
Were you one of those
dummy?
You already had the tumors.
You were one of those kids that had it all over?
Oh my God! It was a wreck. It was a wreck. I hated it.
I had the basic pizza face for my senior photo.
No,
I found those recently. I'll bring those in.
Had regular
basic. That's
regular
what I'm saying. Pizza face. Yeah.
Mine were ridiculous, like the size of your friggin' fist.
That big?
Oh, they were terrible. One day I was in the mall and someone went, "Wow, what did the other guy look like?" Thought I was in a fight. I'm like, "Thanks."
That won't.
I found a lot of money as a kid because I used to have my head down all the time, so I'd find like dollar bills that people dropped on the floor. There was a plus to my zero self-esteem.
They were really that big?
Oh, dude, it was terrible.
As big as a fist, really?
Not a fist, but
how big for real?
For real? The size of this Gatorade cap
would
be
crap.
one like on my cheek, and then another one like.
Couldn't you pop that up?
And I had nicknames for them. Like if it was on my jowl, I had a couple there. I'd call it who was that singer? Oh, God damn it! Now I can't remember his name. Lawrence, Vicki Lawrence, and Edie Gourmet and
Steve Lawrence.
Steve Lawrence. I'd call it the Steve Lawrence because he had the big jowls. Then if I got one on my chin, it was the Dudley Do-Right because they looked like Dudley Do-Right. Then I had the Cyrano if you got one on your nose. And then the Frankenstein was one on the brow line. And then like your cheeks would puff out. It was awful.
What is that genetic or is that food or is that?
It's genetic. It's just a genetic friggin' mess that I had to deal with. And then the best thing was it was mostly out in California. It was horrible out in California. And who was I hanging out with in California? Who was my bestest friend ever? Richard.
Richard, yeah.
And there's a son of a bitch that was gay as the day is long. And every girl was just after this kid because he was gorgeous, and here's his best friend.
They'd rather go out with a gay guy than you. That's
God.
We wonder why your self-esteem blows.
Oh my God, Rocky Dennis, his friend.
You should have let him slobber on it. That would have been your vengeance over them. I know you guys want him. Watch this. Zip, and then Richard.
like a bird trying to pull a worm out of the ground.
Oh, it was horrible. I used to go to the doctor, and I'll tell you something. The doctors knew nothing at the time.
Yeah.
Like now, you take some Accutane, and that crap goes away. Yeah, I tell you, if you're a kid and you're having problems with acne, do anything you have to do to get Accutane before you get any scarring.
Isn't that expensive, though?
Yeah, whatever. Rob somebody. Whatever
it
what
takes
can I tell you?
to get the clear
Have your
face.
parents friggin' pay for it.
Yeah.
But they didn't know. So they'd like put you on tetracycline, some kind of antibiotic, just to try to, because it was an infection, just to try to get rid of it. Yeah, that's great.
That's how you looked?
Oh, worse.
Really?
Worse. It was horrible.
I'm looking at a photo of the guy's lower part of his face.
Yeah, that's
And
wonderful.
it looks almost like a little bit like burn scarring, like not burn scarring, but like
bubbling.
Bubbling, yeah, the bubbling.
volcanoes. It looks like the surface of a volcanic planet. And then they'd put liquid nitrogen on it to like freeze it.
Wow.
It was just a horror show.
So you were tortured by that?
Oh, tortured. All the way up until, and then I figured, it's a kid thing. It'll go away at some point. I'm in my 30s, and I was still dealing with it until I finally went on Accutane. And then, they just went away.
Wow.
And they don't come back after that.
Was Accutane, when did that come around? How old were you?
He was at NEW, right?
Yeah. I was at NEW when
Like
I started taking Accutane.
10 years ago, maybe a little
10 years ago.
little less.
They'd had it before then, but I didn't get on it. But yeah, it took care of it. One sitting. It takes like 6 months or something that you take these things. If it's weird, the warning labels on it, they show like if a pregnant woman looks at this pill, the kid will come out with 3 heads.
Really?
Yeah,
It's a bad one, huh?
Toxic stuff, and then you got to check your liver because your cholesterol goes through the roof when you're taking this stuff.
What do you mean one sitting? You had to go to a doctor and
No, well, like one sitting, one session. Because sometimes it comes back. Sometimes it goes away. Sometimes it don't go away. And then you have to go on another 6 month or 3 months. Yeah, that is an exact replica of something I would get on my face.
Cystic acne.
And let me tell you something. When you jab a pin in that thing and then squeeze it,
nice.
You could fill up a pudding cup.
A shot glass.
A little vanilla pudding cup.
With cystic acne juice.
It was disgusting.
Would you do a shot of cystic acne juice?
God.
Would you?
No.
Would you?
It would spray on the mirror.
Really? One of those?
Would girls say things to you that were like hurtful or make...
I wasn't even close enough to girls for them to say anything odd. I would steer clear of girls. The only girl was, Buzz. And the girls down at the stables, they didn't care.
So when you lost your virginity to Buzz, you had this going on your face?
Yeah, I guess at some point. It wasn't as bad. It got worse after a while, and then it would get better. It would clear up, and then it would get worse. Like, it went in phases.
Right.
So, like, for not even a month, I would say for maybe 3 weeks, it would be all right. And then it would come back, and for a month and a half, it was just a wreck. And then it would mellow out a little bit. But always just red and irritated.
How old were you when that started?
Oh, God, probably 12.
See, can I theorize something? Because Anthony's so brilliant. It's that scientific mind, that guy who was going to be a scientist and build rocket ships, that when you turn 12, that horror of being like physically not being good looking to girls turned into you being funny.
I had to,
you probably wouldn't have gone into being so brilliantly funny if not like that defense to make chicks laugh.
It was absolutely the way to just get people laughing. So, take away from the horror.
They would forget about what's going on your face.
Look at
explains
this.
a lot.
Oh, it's horrid.
All right, let's get back to the sex thing. We've been promising this all morning. Hopefully you're not just tuning in. We're in the middle of a clip here.
Is Dr. Georgia Whittakin. She's a psychiatry professor. Hi, doctor.
Hi, Heather. How
Why are so many young people doing this? Not just young women, but young men too.
It's a time, adolescence, that you can think of as a time where they're joining a cult, each other. They're leaving the family, they're trying to go into the world, and they only have each other as their reference. So think of it as a time of initiation, as if they're getting into some kind of fraternity or group.
Blah, blah, blah. What psychobabble?
I just hear white noise.
Psychobabble.
Psychologists and psychiatrists, whatever.
If she speaks quickly and loud, she thinks that she's really making a point.
It's no different than when we were growing up. They just have different technology. That's all this is. That's all this is.
You say following the leader. Do you mean, these celebrities, Vanessa Hudgens, people who have sent their pictures or pictures that have turned up on cell phones, or Girls Gone Wild type of things? Young people are following those as their example.
No.
We find that the main motivation of adolescents socially is to be approved of by others and be noticed by others. And yes, they see celebrities putting out sex tapes, and it not only doesn't seem to hurt them, but it seems to help their celebrity.
No.
That's
You're so off. I gotta quit radio and become a psychologist. Is that the one that just babbles? Or
Yeah.
When you have to ask, is that the one that just babbles? It's probably not the right career move to make.
Well, I know one does the drugs and the other lets you talk out your problems for hours on end.
She's putting this
enormous fee,
psychobabble, psychologist logic into something that is so simple. It's what a kid would do. It's a little dirty.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun. Mm-hmm. It's taboo, and it's if it's your boyfriend or girlfriend, it's a cool way to hey, check this out.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with what she's saying. She's getting too deep into it. Wow, holy mother of God and Jesus! What the hell picture is that? And email it to me immediately.
No, that's very wrong.
No,
that's very wrong.
She's completely clothed.
Here's more to the
Jesus, Danny
story.
73% in the study said that they knew there were serious negative consequences. These are the kids. Why would they disregard that when they know there could be negative consequences? These digital images stay with them. We know that employers are now looking at people's Facebook pages before they go ahead and hire someone. This stuff is going to come back to haunt some of these kids.
Employers, college admission boards, we've now heard for about 6 months that they're checking on the internet. And the problem is that when you're an adolescent, what you haven't lived through, you don't know about. So whatever you feel today is what you think you will feel always.
But the thing she's right about that. You don't see the future, but jail has always been an option. It doesn't stop kids from doing drugs. It's come on, they're intangible things when you're 15.
Some of these pictures would get you into an Ivy League college. Who are you kidding?
Yeah. There's a girl in a Playboy bunny ears who I just want to say she's a home run.
Jesus Christ.
She's young.
She's 18?
Yeah, she looks of age, though. She really does.
It's all in the face.
Does she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
As we just stare in silence.
Yeah. Wait, the last clip, they close the segment. The male news anchor speaks on getting busted with child porn with a little too much familiarity.
Mm.
Well, young ladies out there, just don't do it. Not worth it. Dr. Georgia Wick.
Yeah, they're watching your program.
Don't do it. Not worth it. Not worth it.
Yeah, they're watching you instead of the hills, you dumb broad.
Well, young ladies out there, just don't do it. Not worth it. Dr. Georgia Wickton, thanks a lot. And also, Bill, you have to wonder, if one child sends this to another child, and somebody's over the age of 18, and somebody's under the age of 18, what are the legal implications there? It could be child porn.
You get burned one time, you'll learn your lesson.
Yeah, right.
And that's a tough lesson to learn for young men and women in this country.
Yeah,
let me tell you.
Hey, let me tell you a little something. You get burned one time. That's all it takes.
Yeah, there's a little suspicion there.
Yeah, that guy definitely
Let me tell you.
like he'd been through it. And they put those cuffs on you and take that mugshot for a sex offense like that. Oh. Every Halloween, why do you think I leave town?
Dragging me out of the house with my computer. Not fun. Not fun. Never do that again. Let's go to the phones. We got Chris. How are you, Chris?
Hey, Chris.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. How old are you, Chris?
I just graduated high school last year. I'm going to be 19 come the 20th.
Sweet. What do you got going on?
Not much. I'm just actually getting into work. I called in with a pretty amusing story for the sexting thing.
All right, keep your radio down so we don't get distracted. So, what do you got on this?
In my high school, there was one girl who was 19, and she sent a picture of herself to her ex-boyfriend. Why she did this, I have no clue. But the high school administration went and called in everyone who got the text, like they tracked down numbers through different cell phones, and everyone was getting called in. And one of the girls who actually got called in, she was 17 at the time. She wasn't legal yet. She had naked pictures of herself, and the high school administrator was going through everyone's phone and found naked pictures of her.
She was just trying to get her old boyfriend back, right? That's why she would send a picture originally.
Yeah.
No, she was like, she actually was dating someone else and wanted to rub it in their face.
Oh, I see.
Rub it in their
And
face.
the whole rest of the day, I saw the administrator walk around with a big smile on his face after he looked at everyone else's phone.
Yeah. This isn't pretty. Someone has to look at these pictures.
Yeah,
Get to
yeah.
the bottom of this.
I
Yeah,
gotta do
all
it.
right.
I like when they have certain pictures, and not like the ridiculous, like really the ones that everyone would find sick and disturbing, but you have some of the people like, I was wow, it was so tough to look at some of these pictures of these exploited young women,
young 17-year-olds.
Yes. Oh, so just having to paw through the thousands and thousands of photos as his shoes are filling up.
Tom and PA, how are you? What do you got on this sexting thing? Tom.
Hey there, Tom.
Let's go. We lose Tom? All right.
Tom hung up.
13-year-old JC. JC, come on. You're too young to know anything about this.
Hey, boys.
Hey.
First off, Anthony, how's Dreamweaver?
Yeah, Dreamweaver wanted to ride horses with me, even though I, had the old pizza face going.
Yeah.
But she was fat and tore off. What an ass I am. I'm just one of these, You
should have went with the fatty. You should have went with whatever you could get.
I know. Beggars can't be choosy.
No kidding, man. What's wrong with you?
Boy, was I choosy.
Start somewhere.
Hey, you're fat.
Anyways,
Shut up,
school
pizza
close
face.
by to me, a girl was raped by two of the kids a grade above her.
Oh, that's fun, Jason.
Really?
Thanks for bringing some fun to the
she
show
was
today.
14.
Yeah.
That's great.
In your school?
No, not my school. A school close by.
I was going to say, what prison are you going to school in?
Yeah.
Jesus. He's got a smoker's laugh at 13. That's great.
All right, JC, thanks.
Later
There's not
there,
much we could do with a
Mr.
14-year-old
JC.
being raped.
No.
Trying to keep it light here.
It's hard to find some comedy in that.
Yeah. Ed in Pennsylvania, how are you?
I'm great.
Good.
How about you guys?
Pretty good, man.
Hey, this is changing the subject a little bit, but I first-time caller, long-time listener. You guys are great. But what I wanted to say is you guys are just more than purveyors of sick, twisted humor, and I found that out yesterday. Big Yankee fan. I was listening to ESPN radio, and then I lost the signal and immediately turned to you guys, and you guys broke the story of CC Sabathia coming to the Yankees before ESPN radio did.
I told you,
Unbelievable.
and no one believed us. I'm telling you, this is happening.
Yeah, we're the Opie and Anthony show. Ed's second choice, we like to call our program.
Yes.
Thanks, Ed.
Yeah, let's get new promos. Ed's second choice.
Ed's second
the
choice
Opie and Anthony show.
for radio.
You listen to ESPN radio for,
Yeah.
That stuff is worth listening to for maybe 5 minutes.
Terrible.
5 quick minutes, and you know everything. So, hey,
absolutely.
Hey, by the way, the Mets picked up Putz.
Yeah, JJ Putz.
Is it Putz or Putz? Because it is Putz, right?
Looks like Putz, but everyone's
the
trying to
anchor
say,
refuses to say.
That's like when someone's last name is Kuntz.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You could pronounce it another way.
Yeah. But they're saying Putz instead of Putz.
yeah, and they're making it very obvious.
They don't want to say Putz.
Yeah, they're saying
Is his last name Putz or Putz?
It's P-U-T-Z. And
Putz.
That's Putz, right?
Putz.
Yeah.
I thought that was odd today. The Mets picked this guy up, and all morning long, Putz.
Yeah.
They picked up Putz.
Yeah, there's a country called Niger. I never knew that.
Let's say hi to Dean on Long Island. Dean, how are you?
Hi, yeah. I'm good. I just had this terrible story of what happened to me and my girlfriend on our 6-month anniversary.
Okay.
We decided to take it to the next level.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, back to the city, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she goes to Lake George. She texts me and tells me that her mom knows. And I'm thinking she's joking because she likes to joke around like this. she's dead serious. She got a urinary tract infection. I'm like, you're definitely pulling my leg. And it was absolutely dreadful, because then she lost service for 3 days, didn't talk to her. She comes back. Her mom's like, you can't go out, you can't do anything. She brings me to therapy with her therapist.
You had to go
over this entire thing.
You had to go to therapy because you had sex with her daughter?
Yeah.
Oh, run, man.
Oh,
Run.
wow. That's rough.
What did the therapist say?
Yeah.
And how old are you?
She was like, it's fine. I'm 18 now, but when this happened, we were both 17.
Yeah.
It was just, oh, my God. I'm still going out with her now. We're on almost 11 months now, and she had us make a contract. That's what the therapist said. You should make a written up document saying that you'll never do it, like, because she's only in high school, and what if she was
Wait. You've had sex already, and they're telling you not to have it anymore?
Yep, and then we have to make a contract saying that we won't
all right, wait, hold on. How's that working out?
Huh?
How's that working out, that not having sex?
We broke the contract a couple of times.
Of course.
If you have
no one
sex
follows
with
a
someone,
contract these days.
If you have sex with someone once, and
Right.
there's some kind of problem with the parents that they decide you need therapy,
and you have to sign a contract.
The first, you're all over each other. What the hell? Are you kidding?
And you're 17 when this happened. What do they think is going on at 17?
She's a health teacher. That's why.
What did the therapist say? I know the contract thing, but what else did the therapist tell you?
Don't go
She was like, oh, it's a natural thing, and most kids are drawn to this, but, I mean, what if she was to get pregnant? She's only in high school. Then you'd have to deal with this, and your whole lives would be ruined. And I'm like, oh, my God, like...
Nice thick history book right to the gut.
Exactly. I'm like, I know this already. Put her on birth control. I don't care. Like, I used it like I was safe. Oh, but the condom can rip. There's still a chance.
Dude, run. Just run. This sounds like a bad catch.
Yeah, the mom.
It was terrible, but I
that mother.
it through, and
meddling
she got all
involved
out eventually,
moms.
And at 18, you should try to conquer as much land as you can, my friend. What are you doing? Get out there. You should be a Viking at 18. Let's say hi to Nick in Jersey. Nick, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, guys. How you guys doing?
Pretty good, man.
Right there, Nick.
Yeah, I went to, I don't know if I should say school, but just a school in New Jersey, South Jersey, and we had a girl whose mother was a science teacher. You know, she's been there like 20 years, real respected teacher in the school, and to be honest, she sucked to all the students. And her daughter was like a nut, and, you know, she was like a real party animal, and her and I guess a couple of her girlfriends from a Catholic school in the same town that nobody knew, I guess had some fun, her and 3 other girls. They took pictures of this whole event, you know, and they were some serious pictures, things disappearing and everything. But anyway, they got around school pretty well, and it turns out one of the girls nobody knew from the pictures was one of the assistant principal's daughters.
Wow.
So that, yeah, they got around school pretty good. Everybody's email, everybody's cell phones, and that was pretty embarrassing for the teachers. And they were trying to address it, like, in class to let everybody know, you know, it's not a big deal, this and that, but you could just see how pissed they were, and it was just great. It was absolutely hilarious.
There you go. A little story from Nick. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Take it easy.
Nick reminds me of something when I went to Geneseo. I was in a fraternity, and... we
all remember that.
Well, yeah, but the first thing they tell you when you get into the fraternity, don't wear your fraternity colors in a certain classroom. Because how the story went, it was an old communications teacher, very old. He was at the end of his run. But I guess years earlier, maybe, I don't remember anymore, but it was at least 10 to 20 years, somewhere in that range. His daughter went up to the fraternity house and had a lot of fun. She had a lot of fun, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted the lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right? It was her doing. But he found out, this teacher, and if any guy wore his colors in this particular classroom, they would get failed immediately. Failed immediately, because it would just bring back horrific memories for this guy.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't like the thought of a whole frat house on his little girl.
But it was, you know, it was her doing, though.
What a stick in the mud.
Look at you still defending it. Hey, look. Don't worry about statute of limitations. You're fine.
It was before our time.
On a pinball machine?
It was way before our time. What else? What's a rainbow party?
Oh, I've heard of these.
Really?
Yeah.
Anna, Long Island, what's up?
Hi. Well, we were talking about this yesterday because a lot of parents that I work with were offended by the texting and, oh my God, my children aren't doing this. I said, well, go and check if they have rainbow bracelets on when you get home. And they had no idea what it was. And there's a couple of versions of it, but one of them is that the guys have rainbow like bracelets or like hair ties or rubber bands. They go to the parties and for every, oh gosh, how do I say this without getting dumped out?
Every act?
Every act that is performed on them by a girl, the girl gets a bracelet. So the more color she has, the more acts she has performed.
The better egg she is.
Wow.
Yes.
No kidding.
There's also a different rainbow party with lipstick.
Yes.
With
that one
lipstick
too.
where the guys would go around and try to gather up a rainbow of colors based on girls' different colored lipstick. So if you had, a lot of color on there, meant you were having quite the party.
Meant you were having a lot of fun.
Yeah. Where is this really happening? That's what
It's happening on Long Island. A lot of the teachers are saying they're hearing about it from their students.
Well, what high school? We better do an investigation.
I have a big house that can host a party. I've hosted a few parties.
From the Rainbow Coalition, though. It's different.
Yeah.
All right.
Have it catered. It'll be wonderful.
Thank you to Anna. We'll take a quick break. We'll continue with the phones. They're pretty hot right now. 877-212-O&A. Oh, absolutely. Every time.
You're jamming.
That's the guitar solo. Reminds us of the horrendous guitar solo.
Oh.
You know what? We should do it here. It's perfect.
Yes.
We're all about the radio segue.
I think this is a little better than you think it is, though. Like they said this was really bad, and I kind of disagree.
God, is that good, huh?
Yeah.
Timeless. Maybe not. We just think it is. Huh? No, of course it's Zeppelin, Jimmy. And it's looped, so you can just do this all day. Hit it. You're ruining it. Not at all. That's our new bit. We're going to do the because the toodly-doo thing might be going away, but we'll start the anyway. I want to do this part again. All right. Don't make me play the La La Christmas song, Jimmy. I've been behaving today. So that's a very good guitar riff, obviously. We can get back to the phones in a second because they're hot. But a certain website, we'll give out the website in a second here, they did a vote to determine the worst guitar solo ever, right? Is there a lot of familiarity on the list there, Danny?
Yeah, there was. I won't say the site so it doesn't crash so I can pull it up real quick. But there was some legitimate people, a lot of legitimate people on that list.
Like who?
Like Lenny Kravitz. And, as much of a talented singer-songwriter as Kurt Cobain was, he didn't exactly have lead chops. So
really?
He made the list on a...
On what, though?
For Smells Like Teen Spirit solo.
Well, live in concert stuff or
No,
on the record?
On the record, just because he didn't... I mean, all it really was the vocal melody just on the guitar.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, all right.
Yeah, but when you think bad guitar solos...
Yeah, you're not really thinking...
Do you think Nirvana, really?
Well... I've thought it in the past, and obviously other people did, or else it wouldn't have been included on this list.
Sure.
But, I'm not taking away from his talent, but I mean, he wasn't exactly somebody known for his guitar chops.
Yeah, too busy screaming.
Was it robshow.com?
No, it's a different website, but that's a good one too.
It's Rob Bartlett's.
Jesus. Stupid Rob Bartlett. Is he coming in today?
We're seeing Bartlett. Just real quick for him.
Cool.
This Saturday he's at Gotham here in New York, and Sunday the 14th he's the Brokerage in Long Island.
Nice.
Rob is brilliant.
Now we like Rob. So how do we do this, you think? I want to see like the list in
I got
general.
it up right here.
Oh, the top 7 worst guitar solos, right?
Yes.
Oasis, Champagne Supernova. What was wrong with that guitar solo? That guitar kind of talked in that
I
song.
hate
Oasis.
Hate them.
Aren't they Beatles ripoffs on some level?
Yeah, sometimes, but just
Champagne
whiny.
Supernova.
Oh, all right.
No?
Champagne Supernova.
Supernova.
Champagne Supernova. Champagne. Another just repetitive crap.
All right, so you agree with that. Oasis, Champagne Supernova, number 7.
Stinks.
Worst guitar solo. Number 6, very sad to say, Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Can we hear some
that
of the
one
solo?
hurts. That one hurts.
Yeah, I'll try and pull some up.
Yeah, we probably should have done this bit better. We just went with it in a second here. Number 5, of course, Twisted Sister. We're not going to take it. What's wrong with the guitar solo in these songs? I don't remember these songs for having bad guitars.
I'm going to try and pull them.
All right, I know you're panicking now. Lil Wayne, excuse me, Leather So Soft. Well, that's just so they make the list balance with all sorts of different artists.
You know what better be in there?
Yeah.
Goddamn, what song was it, though, from the Kinks? It's one of the worst guitar leads I've ever heard in my life. It sounds like his fingers got stuck in the strings, and he's trying to pull them out.
What song, Ed?
It's one of the really popular ones, by the way.
You really got me.
It might be.
What are some of those other King songs?
What are King songs?
Celluloid Heroes.
No.
Lola.
No, it might be You Really Got Me, then.
I think I have the part, the solo from Champagne Supernova queued up. I think
right.
I understand why they put it on this list. It's just very simple and repetitive.
All right, let me hear it. I like that.
Yeah, it's a nice
I can't do any
80
fronting on this. I like this.
harmony thing going on there.
He wasn't going for a Zeppelin thing. Yes, while we were getting high. All right, Lil Wayne, Leather So Soft. Stupid granola caught in the back of my throat.
Oh.
What's number 3?
Clog your throat?
No, that's okay, Jimmy. I knew as soon as I started saying that you would get excited.
If you ran out of yogurt.
Yeah, exactly. Some throat yogurt.
Oh.
Not a big fan of Lenny Kravitz, but he makes the list with American Woman. What's wrong with that guitar?
I was never a fan of Lenny Kravitz.
He does all right with the guitar. This is a dumb list, I'm thinking. Number 1 better be really good. Actually,
I think actually number 1 is he.
We already know that, Jimmy. I was just making believe.
I think number 1 he can actually play.
Yeah. The Misfits, We Are 138. I don't know that song.
It's basically like a 5.5 second, if you want to call it a solo. It's basically the same note hit over and over again real fast.
Oh, really?
That's pretty much it.
All right, let's get to number 1. Should we just play it?
Yeah.
We'll just play it. This is the voted the worst guitar solo by Spike.com.
Okay, the worst.
The worst.
Never mind.
Wow. This is abominable.
Oh, and then he goes with the
Yeah.
that cheap applause break because he knew he was bombing.
That's only good if Christopher Reeve was playing that with his lips.
Yeah, then it's bravo. Bravo.
That's Fred Durst, everyone. Remember him?
Fred Durst, yeah.
What is he up to these days? He was huge for a while.
Not practicing the guitar.
No.
Hell no.
Marcos seems to have an entry.
All right, let's go to Marcos. Marcos.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, I want to know what number is Marty McFly on?
Now, Marty McFly's guitar solo at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was way ahead of its time. Of course, the people didn't like it, but their kids will love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, boys.
We should have been a lot more prepared on this one. We could have had some fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, we could have liked number one and put in something that wasn't number one.
Oh, wow.
Could have put this in. Could have put in Foundry.
There it is.
We're just too busy wondering when we're going to get fired, Jimmy. Excuse me.
I like when the guy's voice kicks in and it's not anything like Michael J. Fox's.
Well, this one's the original.
Yeah. Well, it was ripped off from Marty McFly.
Was it?
Because his cousin, Marvin Berry, called up Chuck and held the phone up for 3 seconds, and Chuck was able to get the whole song.
And you watch this crap?
It's not crap. It's Back to the Future.
And he spoke so naturally, he went, "Hey, Chuck, this is your cousin, Marvin Berry." That's how we all talk.
No, he went,
Well, 'cause he
your
couldn't
cousin Marvin Berry.
And he makes a face
actually
like he was
does
all
like that.
annoyed that Chuck, his cousin, didn't recognize who he was on the phone.
Who he was,
'Cause he made that little annoyed face.
Yeah.
You know that new sound you've been looking for? And then he holds the phone up, and I guess Chuck heard it, and that was Chuck's career right there.
When he ripped him off?
Yeah, and then Marty had to run and save his mom from being raped by the guy who would later be waxing the cars at their house.
Yeah.
Oh, that Biff, that rapist.
What a jokester.
Oh, here's your books. Here's your books are here. Remember when you tried to rape my wife? Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Why would he even be at the house? Never understood that part.
All right, so there you go. Spike.com with the bad guitar solos. I think I got to say, I think it's a lame list. We can't really make much of that one.
It is stupid.
Because most of those songs, you're not listening to those songs going, "Oh my God, listen how bad the guitar is." You just don't. Right?
Yeah. I wish I remember that.
You could hate the song, obviously, but to sit there and go, "Wow, the guitar work on this is awful," you wouldn't do that.
It might be. You really got me.
Did you think about this one? Because now you got
God,
my.
Because it's such a bad guitar lead, dude. It stinks.
How does it go? Do you know?
Blink, 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 blink. It's horrible.
Is it Lola? Because they were very simple with their songs.
No. This one was God.
All right. Well,
Damn it.
Language.
Maybe tomorrow.
Son of
Maybe tomorrow.
No.
Language, young man. This is my home.
Now.
Maybe tomorrow. We could do one more thing really fast. We've been talking about the youngsters today. There's a 9-year-old, something we wanted to get to, but we got too busy. 9-year-old love doctor who wrote a book.
I saw him on...
Want to give this a little shot?
Ellen, I believe it was.
Yeah, in between dancing.
Her and that dancing. Isn't that great?
Very funny broad.
Yuck.
She should just tell her people, enough. I'm not dancing anymore. I'm funny on my own. Don't need to do the... the little show every day for everybody.
Yeah.
I know.
Right? It was cool for a little while.
I want to see her do the Buffalo Shuffle wearing her special belt.
You think she has a special belt?
Of course she does.
Yeah?
She straightens out the other one with it. Yeah. Love to see her doing the Minnie the Moocher dance wearing that special belt and then holding one in each hand of a different color.
I've always been confused by the lesbo because if they don't like the male part, why do they have their apparatus look like the male part?
Because it's not that's not what they dislike. It's the man. It's us. It's who we are.
But that would remind them of the man. So why wouldn't the lesbo come up with some new design that has nothing to do with the male part but gets the job done?
They're stupid broads.
Make it into a question mark or something. Special belts with question marks on them.
Haven't you seen those 18-inch arms that they sell?
Right, but that always confused me about the lesbo. I never understood that. They're man haters, but they use something that looks like the man in their love making. Anthony, in their love making.
And thinking of all day and all of the night.
All day and all of the night.
I think. No.
Could you find that one there, Danny? Because Anthony's not going to be able to sleep. Steve, Syracuse.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Have you heard Scorch lately?
Oh, it's after he goes, oh, go, bling, bling.
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
All day and all of the night.
That's the vocals, though.
Yeah.
I want to hear the guitar now.
Get that guitar solo. It's the worst
guitar
solo
is
you'll
just
ever
awful.
hear. It's so awful that I notice how awful it is anytime I hear the song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cue that up. Cue it up, please.
Are you getting it there, Danny? Here we go.
Johnny on.
It's not ready yet.
No, he's Johnny on the spot.
What the hell you want me to do?
You won't be ignored, Dan.
Make crap up until you're ready?
It's all right, and then whenever we come back.
No thoughts on the lesbo thing? The lesbo theory I got in?
What about the fake man thing?
I'm not talking about the bisexual chicks out there, the hardcore lesbos who hate men as far as that goes, but they use a part of the male to have some enjoyment with their lesbo lover.
See, I think they like the feeling.
So come up with
that, but not
something that
attached
doesn't look
to-
like that.
But it's got to, I mean, insert tab A into slot B. It can only
understand
fit
that,
a certain way,
But maybe you could figure something
What's it
out.
supposed to look like? A Buick?
I went with question mark.
A question mark?
Yeah.
With that...
For her pleasure.
The hook?
For her pleasure.
The hook.
For her pleasure.
I don't know.
Maybe we could think about
as
that
long
tomorrow.
As it's attached to a chick.
I think I got it over here.
All right, let's go, Danny.
All right, let's see.
If this, you sure you're talking about all day and all the night, right? 'Cause that's what I.
Pretty sure.
We're not sure. We're going to find out.
I'll know in a second.
Well, tell me if this might be it.
Sucks right from the get-go. Yeah. This is it.
What part?
Listen to the whole lead.
Sounds like something on Mondo Topless.
He was dude. He was like missing everything. It felt like he was missing everything. Blink, 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 blink.
Sounds spastic.
Yeah,
like a spastic whammy bar or something.
Listen to this part. Like horrible.
I gotta tell you, that just shows you that you're a musician because I never picked up on that until today.
Hard.
Until today, I never
Hate
really
it.
listened that closely to the guitar stuff. All right.
Is that Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah, he was supposed to do our show, but what's up with the Coke bottle glasses?
Not doing radio. It's always good, though,
Looks
when
creepy.
people do Pix 11,
Yeah.
not realizing that we reach more people. These dumb publicists.
Because it's more romantic, I guess, to be on TV. This guy's not reaching anybody with his this appearance on Channel 11.
He just looks like a parody of himself, the way he's talking and pointing at himself and folding his hands.
We had a great phone call with him, too.
Yeah, I
Too
like
bad.
that.
All right, hey,
Dude.
the 9-year-old writes a love advice book, a couple quick clips worth playing. What does a 9-year-old know about love? We're going to find out.
A young love doctor. His name is Alec Grevin. He is the young author of the book, How to Talk to Girls. The book started...
She can't believe it. She's laughing. It's a 9-year-old boy talking about how to get girls. Stop.
I love how they try to keep it innocent. If a 9-year-old's talking about love, you know what that means, right?
What?
You know.
Oh, Jesus, I don't think
a little
so.
of this.
I think he's talking about probably relationships.
Innocence love,
Yeah.
but he's not stupid. He knows where the innocent love
Well,
goes.
they call it
It goes
puppy
to this.
love. I think it's puppy love. I don't think they're doing that. I really don't think 9-year-olds are practicing that type of sex. You know, like you're treating the girl like Jake LaMotta treated. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
The book started as a creative writing assignment. Now it's actually being published by HarperCollins. That's the real deal, Mike. Once you're this kid, you have to admit he's got a lot better advice than you do.
Really?
Don't really like bugs and gross things, but and most boys don't like.
See, he's talking about crabs right there. I'm not stupid.
Bugs and gross things.
Yeah, this guy
no, he
knows.
means cooties.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Girls at that age have what are called cooties.
Yeah, well.
You ever get a cootie shot?
Yeah.
I got a cootie shot when I was a kid.
Is
'cause,
that like, or is that a purple?
It was
Nerf
given.
one?
It was given in many different ways. The cootie shot, but always effective against cooties. If you were on the playground and a girl touched you, you would go to the playground doctor, whoever that would be at the time, and he would give you your cootie shot because you would not want to go back into school the school after recess, not having your cootie shot. You spread cooties.
Yeah.
Whatever cooties were.
I was too
You girls had cooties. Just the thought of it. All you girls out there were running around when you were young with cooties. You didn't even know it. Ew, you diseased little things. You all got cooties.
Cooties.
Yeah. Then we stepped it up and gave them herpes and crabs, chlamydia, all the other good ones that there aren't really shots for.
Gonorrhea.
How do you make up a disease that girls give you when you're like friggin' 6, 7 years old? Ew, she has cooties.
And how do we know cooties weren't good?
Yeah.
Like, they could have been fantastic.
I wanted cooties on my face.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like you did.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, but
I was trying. Believe me, every minute of the day.
Yeah.
Do you love when your breath smells like cooties?
Oh, wonderful cootie breath. Yeah. I used to, in kindergarten, I went up to the shed of this girl's house, and we used to show each other our heinies. We would just, and that's all we did.
That's like sexting.
That was us having sex.
Right. It was that whole
sexting.
texting thing we were talking about.
We used to go in her shed in the backyard, and I would I would turn around and look over my shoulder, and she would turn around and look over her shoulder, and we would pull our pants down and show each other our heinies. And I would get a little excited, but you wouldn't know what to do about it. And then you'd be like, "Hey, there's some money on the dresser for you. I'm leaving."
Yeah. And then you go outside and kick the stupid ball around.
Yeah, you didn't know. You just knew it was cool to look at her hiney.
Yeah.
Even though she had cooties.
Yeah. And it's just looking, I guess.
Yeah. And then if I found out that she showed another guy her hiney, I was all like mad. That was cheating.
Yeah, I understand.
She was cheating in the shed.
That was absolutely cheating back then.
My hiney.
Let's get this 9-year-old out of the way so we could go to the other place.
Gross things, but and most boys don't like things like Hannah Montana and stuff like that. Sometimes you get a girl to like you, then she ditches you. Tip: about 73% of regular girls ditch boys, 98% of pretty girls ditch boys.
Oh, ditch boys, huh? What does this kid know?
That's what I'm saying. He's 9.
Sounds like half a fruit.
Wait till I get to the punchline. This is how we'll end the show. We got an update on this little effer.
Oh.
It's going to drive you nuts, Jimmy.
He says, don't be a show-off. Don't draw too much attention to yourself. Try to be the smartest boy in class. Check out what his principal also says about him, Mike.
It was so entertaining and it was so true. And I thought, and to come from this little 8-year-old mind, just saying, this is really how you should talk to girls, even if the girl is 46. This is how you should talk to a girl.
They should arrest the kid for writing child pornography.
Yeah, should arrest her for actually soliciting a date with him.
Yeah, no kidding.
Sounded like it. 46.
Looks like, so he writes the book, right, Jimmy?
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, he signed a $500,000 movie deal.
Hilarious.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Hope it's directed by Roman Polanski.
That's the world we live in, right there.
For what? What is he gonna?
I guess
what?
They're gonna turn it into a little cute little movie.
They're turning that book into a movie.
Yeah.
On how to pick up girls.
Yeah.
Kids all love that crap.
Yeah.
Little dopes.
So.
Oh God, damn.
We got to go. Hopefully we'll be here tomorrow. Yeah. We know this much. We're going over to the other side today. And Rob Bartlett's going to be there, and we're going to do some other fun things.
Yeah.
I'll be there in a few.
Why? What happened? What happened?
I won't be here tomorrow, so I know that you guys will miss me.
Oh, where you going, Jimmy?
L.A. I leave in a little
The Viper Room thing?
Yeah, Friday, Saturday. I'm with Florentine. It might be sold out.
That's very cool, man.
Get your hopes up out there. It's probably sold out.
It's going to be quick. It's going to be a sellout, Jimmy.
It probably is. Don't get your hopes up.
That's good. Good to hear. All right, let's get Jimmy a movie deal. That's what we need to do. If this 9-year-old effer could get one, Jimmy could get one, right?
God.
Yeah. That's.
I hate your cooties. I'll change my book title.
Yeah. All right, guys, go after yourselves. The Opie and Anthony show continues. I'm glad you said on the other side that kid is a half a fruit. That 9-year-old with the love advice.
Yeah, sometimes you could tell, I don't know, it's just my opinion from life experience.
He didn't sound, I don't know. I guess we should just leave the kid alone, right?
Leave him alone. He's just a kid. Why are we hating on him?
It's not that we're hating. It's yeah. He's talking about something that he probably isn't going to want any part of.
Yeah. Yeah, his great advice, something he's not going to want.
Right?
Hi,
Amy.
For Pal Talk people, I have to tell them no sound or cam.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it seems to be a problem. I'm going to try sound right now.
Okay.
And it could crash the whole thing.
All right.
When I try cam, it crashes.
Okay.
Let's try sound. All right.
Sound?
Oh, boy, this ain't going to be good. Ah, just crashed. Can't do anything. No sound, no cam, no pal talk. Sorry.
over here.
Yeah, put it on over there. Some crap. Shit.
Well,
I can say shit.
Anthony, we have some fine stuff to play for the people today. We got another tasing video. We got
which are when I do look at videos online at night. I do that every night. I pretty much pop them on. Tasings, amongst some of my favorite videos ever, especially the long form screaming ones. The people that were very uncooperative right up until those barbs went into them and gave them about 10,000 volts or so. It's hysterical.
And then you hear, all right,
stop it. Like, wait a minute. Before, you were fighting. You wouldn't let me put my arms behind your arms behind your back. You always see me. It's like, put your arms behind your back. And they clutch their chest. They're like, no, I'm fucking rolling up in a ball. You are not going to handcuff me. I will tase you. Nope, I don't care. I am not going to. Here's my arms. Holy shit, don't ever do that again. Oh, my God, don't ever do it again, please. God, Jesus. Instant compliance. It's amazing.
Just like those videos you were talking about yesterday. Today, sorry. Sometimes I feel like...
Yeah, I never know what the hell day it is.
No, when you were talking about the convenience store robberies and they're all tough and stuff, and next
all
thing you
tough,
know,
gangster.
The guy behind the counter has a sawed-off shotgun or a machete or something, and it's a whole different story.
Pulls it out. There's one like that where the guy, it's an oldie but goodie, where the guy comes in with a shotgun, robs the store. He puts the shotgun on the counter while the guy is giving him the money. And then in the split second between the time the guy gave him the money and the robber goes to put it in his pocket,
right?
The guy behind the counter grabs the guy's shotgun and turns it around on him. And this guy runs out the door so damn fast. The only problem is he comes back.
He does.
Yeah, and the guy, the store owner who now had the shotgun, put himself in a bad position. He put himself like in a blind spot and in a corner, and then it was out of range of the camera. He should have moved in front of the door and just stood there.
Right.
You know, so
Guarding
if the guy
his
comes back, you get to blast him right back through the door.
What happened when the guy came back?
Didn't see on the camera. It went off camera. Like the robber went over the counter and went to him, and then eventually you see him running out the door again. But I don't know what transpired in the corner without the gun.
Yeah.
So he probably went back to get it because his fingerprints were all over it.
Yeah.
Well,
there are some real dummies. There was another one. A couple of guys were robbing a store, and one guy is leaving, and the other guy decided to ask the girl behind the counter if she wanted to go out with him. It's like, you're fine. You want to go out with me or something? She was like, no. Just robbed me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's such an awkward relationship.
It's great. But then this site was also full of like real gross things. All it shows is a blank screen with dripping blood. It says extremely graphic, and I don't click on those.
Yeah, don't
and
click
the
on
one you were
those.
talking about with those guys that kind of stabbed that guy, bashed his face in.
Blood gutted.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's different. That's
Stop
looking
that
at
was up
those.
there. I'm not looking at those at all.
You should watch that for a minute.
No,
Hell
I can't.
no.
I cannot watch those. The furthest I've gotten, I can watch Iraqi war footage, but I can't watch the Americans getting sniped.
Sure.
Like when it shows American gets sniped or improvised explosive device blows up a Humvee. I can't watch that. When they show insurgents getting blown to pieces, I'm all over it. Can't get enough.
Yeah.
Why is that? Isn't it supposed to be they're human? It's the same thing.
Because there's no familiarity. Because it's like the same thing you said about it's easy to watch people dying far away. There's no real familiarity.
Yeah.
Their cars look different. The clothes they're wearing different. Their skin color looks different. Everything about them is different. So it makes it easier, I guess.
And you kind of know that, like, if you watch an American getting killed in one of these videos, that there's a family there that also speaks English, might live in your town.
Right.
And then over there, you really don't look at them as family people, even though they most likely are. Even the insurgents probably go home and, do whatever they do.
Oh,
There's a good special on HBO On Demand. It might be off now. But it was about, over in Israel, there was a very big case of a 17-year-old suicide bomber, a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Went into a supermarket, and the only person she killed was a 17-year-old Israeli girl. And when you look at their photos side by side, they looked very similar. It's like these are two girls that could have been friends. They were pretty, it's the same region. And so there was this thing about the Jewish girl's mother wanted to confront the Palestinian girl's mother. But it's very dangerous in Gaza Strip for her to go there. So the whole thing is them going back and forth where she's going to meet her. The mother agrees finally to meet with her. And I don't want to give the whole...
She blew her up?
Yes, she shot her.
Dropped the bomb on and...
But when you listen to the mother of the because I expected to hate the Palestinian girl's mother. But when you listen to her talk about, hey, look, you're coming from a place of the oppressor, and I'm coming from, we're looking at it as people who are being oppressed. I didn't agree with the suicide bomber, but you don't hate the Palestinian mother like you think you will.
Yeah.
You do kind of understand where she's coming from, even though you don't agree with the point. You know what I'm saying? It was much harder for me after seeing this mother fight back. Because the Jewish mother's like, well, did you know that your daughter was going to do that? She's like, no, of course I didn't. But then the Jewish mother was saying, well, you got to say it was wrong that she did it. It was just really interesting if anybody saw that. But I found myself not siding as harshly against her as I thought I would.
Wow. Yeah, I'll have to see that.
You'll never see it.
Yeah, that's one of those things you got to see. If you describe it, it's like, no, I still hate her. No, not boring along, but I'm just like, no, I still probably hate her. But
what site is that on?
It was on HBO's On Demand. It's probably off now. I forget what it was called.
Okay.
I would have named it the Jewish girl who got blown up by the Palestinian girl. And then the moms. But
you call it that, but it's too long of a title.
Hey, we got a Ron and Fez spy report from Stunt Brain, who stays over at the other joint when we leave. Subject, big in capital letters, meeting in conference room. The K-Rock muckety mucks, that would be the suits, all went into the conference room and just closed the door very, very quietly.
Uh-oh.
There are rumors of many old rock jocks coming back to the station in other day parts. News as it breaks.
Huh.
Yeah, there's something going on over there. I'm starting to think that maybe we'll be part of the whatever the fuck they decide to do next.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to try to be an optimist for once.
Oh, yeah?
Hey, Planet in Peril. CNN's doing this thing.
Planet in Peril.
And I guess Texas is getting like 2 inches of snow. So where's the peril?
Exactly. Yeah, what's the problem?
What's the problem? By the way, I got the whole global warming thing figured out, and I don't know why no one.
You did it?
I don't know why no one has come to me for the real answer.
I don't know, figured out.
You want to know my answer? It's very simple.
I'd love to hear it.
Nothing has changed whatsoever.
Since when?
Since
the beginning of time?
Nah, recorded history we'll go with.
All right.
Nothing has changed. Here's the problem.
What?
The scientists never figured out our clock right. Think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So everything is shifted a little bit.
Thank you.
But they did.
Nope. They
know.
not.
They know on a planetary scale.
How do you know
where the Earth is at any given moment?
Like right now is what, December 11th, 10th, somewhere around there. 11th. I bet you it's really like October.
You think over so much time we've lost or gained or something? You know. But they know where we are in space relative to the sun.
How do you know? Who's been up there to really look at it?
Because the Earth is tilted on its axis, so we know when the solstice comes around that is the pinnacle of where the sun is hitting.
There was a story today. They're still adjusting the clock.
Tropic of Cancer or the equator or the Tropic of Capricorn.
Bullshit.
Those
Thank
are
you,
your
Jimmy.
those are your sun lines.
Nope.
During any
What does that mean? Who figured that out, and who decided that's good? That's what it's going to be. You know that there was a story today that they have to add a second onto this year because they don't have the clock figured out still.
Onto the big atomic clock.
Yeah, they're adding a second at the end of this year to
make up for it.
Well, they think they are, but I'm telling you, the whole global warming thing, it's just a shift happened. That's all. Because remember, people go, I remember when it was cold around Halloween when I was growing up.
So you're saying if we just change the calendar to right now's July,
Well,
people would be
that'd
like
a little crazy. Now you're insane.
No, I'm going the extreme just
Okay.
to make a point.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we change the calendar, we flip everything forward, and today is the 4th of July.
Yeah.
It would be the oddest thing because we'd be like, oh my God, it's snowing on the 4th of July.
You go.
It's no different than that.
There you go. I think they're in cahoots together, too. Yeah.
Security. Security. Remove Opie from the building, I believe.
Yeah, well, I got someone backing me up. And I don't need any of that dumb knowledge you have. You just have to go with a little hunch every once in a while. I got a hunch. The clock's
You got a
wrong.
hunch, do you?
I got a hunch that the clock's wrong. Rob on Long Island.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Yeah, Opie's not too far off.
Thank you.
A few thousand years ago, back in the Roman and Greek times, before they accounted for daylight savings and leap years and stuff, all these little extra seconds and days and stuff would always add on, to where they literally had to add 2 months to their calendar, July and August, I believe, because it started just snowing and had crazy climate temperatures around like spring and summer, so they had to add an extra 2 months just to try to balance things out.
What year was this?
There you go.
So, you can look it up. It's
Yeah, I'm with you, Rob. See? Me and you, buddy.
No, but you see,
We go with our hunches. We don't need dumb knowledge. We don't have to look it up in books.
The clocks can't be that off, though. Like, we still see the results physically.
How do we know?
Of the ice caps that are different.
And try to
They don't
explain
get
it,
much
and
bigger.
I didn't like that explanation.
You didn't like that explanation?
Nope.
I kind of like it because...
And how many people have actually seen the ice caps? I don't know what they look like 20 years
we
ago.
know where we are in space relative to the sun.
Yeah.
That dictates our months and our seasons.
How about Mr. Spaceman just moved everything over a little bit?
Who's Mr. Spaceman?
I don't know who he is.
But we know because we have to know. We have to know for the satellites, for launching things, for going to other planets. So we absolutely know.
What do you really know? There was a time we thought the Earth was flat, and that was the law.
We know when
We don't know shit.
when we're in the exact spot around the sun that we were the year before, which makes it the same day.
All right, let's go back in time.
And
Someone said we know the Earth is flat.
Well, they were real stupid.
How do you know we're not real stupid?
We're not
still?
real stupid. We've learned that. The Earth is not flat.
But there's other stuff we haven't learned, like we don't have the clock right.
No, I think we got that down.
Yeah, then why is it a lot warmer around Christmas?
And the clock being right is more the Earth spinning on its axis than rotating around the sun. There is a variation of the Earth spinning day to night.
How do we know the Earth's spinning?
How do we know the Earth's spinning?
Yeah.
It gets dark. And then it gets light again.
Maybe it's the sun spinning.
Now you're talking like old school. Now you're talking back in the day.
I'm going
back in the
to,
way old day.
I'm going like Galileo.
The sun.
Like, how do we know this shit?
The Earth is at the center of everything.
Right.
It rests on a tortoise's back.
Proving my point, by the way. Thank you. We believe that.
Yes, we did.
Like it was law.
Yeah.
Oh, is that where that? Wait, where is that? What does that mean? Because that's from a Stephen King book. What exactly is he?
They really
referencing?
thought that.
They really thought that the Earth was at the center of the universe and it rested on a tortoise's back. And for some reason, a tortoise, a giant tortoise. What? Who would think that shit? That drivel. And the second you came up with some scientific thing where it was actually a good theory and you had some, not proof, but yeah, you had some good dialogue to back it up with, they'd, pull out your innards and feed them to pigs and then set you afire.
I actually know. I do know why they thought that. It was a bizarre thing because Stonehenge. You look at Stonehenge, and someone said it looks like giant pieces of turtle shit. That's all I got. And it wasn't not much.
Let's go to Alaska. We don't get a call from Alaska too often. So, Dan, what's going on?
Not much, you guys.
All right. Of course, nothing much. You're in Alaska.
Talking about where the extra 2 months the calendar come from. I actually learned this from my kid. Believe it or not, they do learn something at school. July and August was added by the Roman Caesars. July was for Julius Caesar, and August was for Augustus Caesar.
Yes.
Yes.
So you can't just add 2 months to the calendar, Ant, without anyone noticing. I'm telling you.
Well, apparently they used
they
to.
were too busy getting drunk and stoned and having their orgies for anybody else to really pay too much attention to anything anyways.
But they didn't have it down back
And why
then.
in the year 2008 are we adding a second onto this year? Maybe that whole second thing has been happening all the time, and now it's moved everything forward a little bit.
got to hate it when that happens.
That's right. It's called To Die in Jerusalem, Jimmy. HBO special.
Okay.
Let's say hi to Brian in Illinois. Brian.
Yeah.
Hey.
I was just wanting to say that, the Earth rotates on its axis, right?
Yeah.
The axis rotates also. So basically, eventually, the North Pole will become the South Pole.
What, you're saying that we're actually turning over as a planet? I think we've been the same weird degrees for quite some time. There's a bit of a wobble.
I think that's what he's trying to say.
But we're not flipping over. Sorry. I can't go with you on that one.
What does the wobble mean?
Not very fast.
It's nothing. There's always just been a bit of a wobble. It's a natural, nothing's perfect kind of a thing. And our planet spins around on its axis, and the axis is tilted. So it's not this perfect, little spinny thing.
Does rotate.
But wouldn't it be perfect? It's just how we look at it makes it not perfect? Wouldn't it be perfect if you looked at it like...
Well, relative to the solar system that we're in and the sun,
Do you know what I was going for?
Yeah. You're like, it's in space, and since space is endless, if you look at it one way, then it is going straight up and down. And the solar system is bent the wrong way. But... Yeah.
I'm punching out.
All right, well...
It is really odd when you get into the whole spacey shit.
I hate thinking about space.
It just goes on and on forever and ever and ever.
Thomas Overbeck from Dallas. The tortoise's back theory was actually proposed by Ted the astronomer, owner of Ted's Telescope Palace.
It was never Ted's Telescope Palace, you cluck. It was Ted's Space Viewing Emporium.
Space Viewing Emporium?
Yes, I was pushing the turtle's back theory because I had a bunch of hats that looked like turtle backs and I had to sell them. I would call them the universe hats. Nobody bought one.
I was going to ask how they sell.
Not too well, Anthony. I tried to sell them as fancy soup bowls.
I heard in the first phase of trying to sell them, you didn't remove the turtle, which was a little awkward. People walking around with just turtles on their head.
Yes, and the turtles will claw your scalp. and they go nip into your scalp, and it hurts with their little turtle beaks.
They do tend to snap.
And their duty runs right down the back of your neck. I was on a date one time, showing my fancy hat off, and the girl kissed my neck and said, "Theodore, your neck smells like turtle feces." I was frightfully embarrassed.
Oh, God damn. Frightfully.
Yes.
Ted is such an ass.
No, I was correct. The turtle made a duty down my neck. And I always tuck in my shirts, so it began to collect and pile up.
Oh, God damn.
That was one nervous turtle.
Yeah, apparently. Riding around in your head. With his little beak.
Yes. He would try to crawl off, and I would punch him.
I wasn't raised in prehistoric days, like a lot of people say, but I certainly do remember a lot more reptiles and amphibians running around Long Island when I was growing up. As a kid, I used to live in Central Islip and then East Islip, and it was by Heckscher Park. And you used to be able to go off the side of the highway, and there was just this huge expanse of woods where there were ferns growing.
Sure.
Ferns and little ponds that you'd go to and catch salamanders, little amphibians, and frogs all over, and turtles. It was like this weird little ecosystem that just gone.
That's just because they started building a lot of
they
houses
built a lot
and
of
stuff.
shit is what it is, definitely.
But the scientists are trying to figure out why the frogs are disappearing. Look it up.
Same thing. I think it's the same thing.
In general, they're saying something's going on with the frogs.
But it's got to be
They're
the same
disappearing
thing. Frogs need a certain environment to live in, and I don't think housing developments are conducive to their survival.
I don't even think they're taking that into consideration, and they're still saying what is going on with the frogs.
Well, it's saying the same thing with the bees.
I think the frogs are the aliens, and they're just going back home.
Bees are disappearing.
Frogs are queer.
Frogs are aliens. Frogs and cats are definitely aliens.
No.
Yeah, because you guys look at aliens like they're supposed to kind of look more human. They're walking among us. They're cats.
Cats
And
look
frogs.
like they belong here on this planet.
Fuck no, they don't.
Yeah, they do. They got
You were a
arms
cat
and
owner.
legs, head, teeth.
You were
noses.
a cat owner. Those things are not. They're not.
If it was smart enough to be a fucking alien and get here, I could tell it to stop clawing my fucking couch, and I'd be able to have a cat.
I don't know what they do when you're sleeping at night.
They claw your shit up, is what they do.
Well, what
Then
does that mean?
Then they lay on your chest and steal your breath.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but they bury their
Someone
own
out
shit
there
in a
get
box.
that joke?
Yes. I'm with you on that one. Mooney in Texas, where it snowed a couple inches in, I think, the Houston area. Mooney, what's up?
Morning, Opie. Morning, Anthony. Morning, Jim.
Hey. Morning, Mooney.
Opie, you're completely correct about
Thank you.
adding time.
Thank you.
When
Such
they
a
had it
bike.
in July, August, they had to add 10 days to account for leap year.
There you go. You can't just add
right
10
about
days. They didn't.
They did.
They don't have it figured out. There's a shift going on. We're in December, but this was like mid-October when we were growing up. We lost 2 months in our lifetime somehow.
Yeah, but
Want
365
it back.
days later, it's still different, and the caps have melted. I think that's the big problem. Because I've actually, I went to the polar ice caps many times as a boy.
Oh,
And
did
they're
you?
different.
Did you, Jimmy?
Yes, my father would take me there.
Certainly did.
And
Yeah.
we fished for polar bears with our cocks.
You hear our buddy there from that nature dude guy.
Oh, yeah, Bear Grylls.
Bear Grylls got injured right after. He left our show.
Well, he was
apparently went down to Antarctica.
He was promoting that on our show.
And fell and fucked up his shoulder.
How bad is he?
Well, it was bad enough where they had to fly him back to jolly old England.
I was going to say to his nice 5-star hotel.
Yeah. You know something, though? You got to give it to him. There ain't no 5-star hotels down in Antarctica.
Right, we see what happens now when he fucking doesn't have a big hotel.
When he doesn't have a hotel, he's got to leave immediately.
A 5-star igloo.
He went back to England where they were going to assess how bad his shoulder was.
Pretty bad, though, huh?
So they're saying, but perhaps he needed, a little warmth. If I was one of these guys that had one of these shows where your whole credibility is based on how you handle survival in the wilderness, and you can't take the wilderness, I'd come up with a story like, "Ow, I hurt my arm. I have to fly back. I'm really fucking cold." That's probably that's what happened. Look, I didn't understand the cold of Antarctica. I thought, when the heat goes out in your house and it gets cold, extra blanket. That Antarctica cold, that is beyond the realm of cold.
Of understanding.
It will kill you cold in no time. Why the fuck do you want to go there?
I don't know.
No, well, Godspeed there.
Hey, speaking of updates, because we do have the Man vs. Wild update, we were talking to Dana White, and I had shit to do last night, and I'm so pissed I couldn't watch that UFC thing, and I said I was going to watch it, the thing he did for the troops.
Yes, with Josh
Did you hear? Mars sent out a great email overnight. These two fights were ridiculous. One guy broke his arm, and one guy broke his leg, right?
Wow.
Where's Mars? Because how he described it on the email, I'm like, fuck, why didn't I watch this last night?
I know. They're probably fighting for free, these guys, too.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Mars?
What's up, fellas?
So, quickly, what happened with the fights last night?
Well, one guy, I don't know, he has some balls. He refused to tap, and the guy,
the
guy just kept going and just snapped it.
Snap
And
what?
Even when he snapped the, I think around the elbow area.
He wouldn't tap even after.
And even after he snapped it, the dude just had this look, dazed, like confused, and didn't say a word. Didn't say one
then
word.
what did they do?
They stopped it.
Yeah, some
they finally stopped it at that
tough
point?
motherfuckers.
And you got to see the other one where you could see it on UFC.com.
Yeah.
The dude kicks him, and the other guy checks it, and you'll see.
Wow. What do you mean by check it? That's like blocking it?
Yeah, you block it.
With your leg?
Yes.
You're blocking a kick with your leg?
Right, and the guy that's kicking gets the worst of it.
Oh, really?
no.
Yes. If you do it right.
Yes.
I see this stuff I could still watch.
What legs?
Yeah, I can watch this.
doing
The Joe Montana thing, all that. It was Joe, right?
Yeah, but you got Joe
Theismann.
Rogan.
No, Theismann. Thank you. That's why I asked.
Theismann.
Theismann. I could still watch that stuff. Yeah, we got the Rogan call.
Dude.
That's what it's leading to
Amazing.
here, but I want to see the video. Loading. Everyone's checking it out now. Come on, man.
Loading, buffering.
A lot of buffers.
Yeah, there were a lot of buffers. All right, there we go. He's going up to the.
All right.
It's like it's one of those videos.
Yeah.
Where like you can't just skip to it. Like you have to wait for the whole thing to load.
To build, yeah.
What? So how long is this fight?
It's only it's up to the second round, first minute of the second round.
So it's going to be a while, Danny?
Yeah, I just got to once the video
why don't
loads,
we get the call from
That's that shit buffer.
our old pal Joe Rogan, who's too busy to do our show these days, unfortunately. We love the guy. This is how he called the broken leg.
Dale showing a lot of head movement, eats a nice kick. Oh, Corey fell down. Oh, his leg's broken. His leg's broken. This fight is going to be stopped. Stop the fight. Stop the fight. The fight is all over. Corey Hill has suffered a broken leg. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, man. Oh, man. The doctors are in quickly. Oh, man.
It's good to know the doctors are on.
Shit.
It's good to know the doctors are in quickly, but what can they really do
nothing.
at that moment?
Drag them out of the... They don't even do it,
Who's
yeah.
yelling, stop the fight? That was Rogan and those guys, because they saw it. They were probably worried the ref didn't see it.
It's like, oh, stop the fight. Don't let the guy, like, twist it off.
Wow, I got to see this
That
now.
Stretch Armstrong leg where you can just, like, pull it.
Yeah.
Ooh, ah.
Wow.
Oh, those are so bad. They'll hang in foot. Ah, yee.
I got to see this now.
Now I'm going to be all cringy when I watch it. Gives me the heebum-jeebums.
So you like the fights, Mars?
Oh, absolutely. Great fights. Good fights. All of them. Even the main event was a shocker. It was nasty.
Yeah, cool.
Another thing I noticed last night with my video perusing online. Remember when wrestling was really at its peak? A lot of that backyard wrestling was going on. Now that mixed martial arts is so popular, Opie, this seems to be the thing to do.
Backyard
is go in your backyard
UFC.
and beat the piss out of each other in front of your friends and neighbors for nothing.
It's Fight Club.
And they,
Pretty much Fight Club
They
in the open.
kick each other in the face. They do the elbow fucking when they get the guy on the ground. And this is now something people are doing in their backyards.
Right. Why does this look like a video game?
It's a little pixelated. Looks like an old Sega system game.
They blew up the low quality video.
All right, is it coming up here, Danny?
Yeah.
All right. I know this is radio. We understand, but
Oh! Stop the fight! Stop the
I didn't
fight!
see it.
Look at his leg! Ow!
That's like breaking a board up against a
He
house.
kicks with his right leg.
His shin becomes his knee.
Look at it.
Watch.
Look at it.
Yeah.
In the back, we have stopped on a freeze frame. His right leg is back, and it looks like a piece of flesh.
Not even that. His whole ankle and foot were turned around
Dude,
when he was on the ground.
The middle of his shin became his knee.
Hey, Danny.
That's where it bent.
And also, that's why Rogan was yelling, stop the fight, because the other guy didn't realize his leg was broken.
No, he went right after him.
Wow.
He jumped on him.
Danny,
Can we get Rogan on the phone? Is Steve around today? Get Rogan on the phone.
They have a better angle, a closer shot, and a better angle. He has to fast forward it a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
A better shot? Oh, that's all I need to see.
Oh, my. Oh, that looks hot.
This is the better shot.
And we'll tell you where this is.
God
Most people know where to find this. But
God.
Oh, that is just, it looks...
Why are they kicking each other?
Yeah, that's part of the thing. I think they kick each
But
other.
this is not like boxing.
It's not like boxing.
Dude, that kick.
Fuck.
Amazing.
His leg just... Your bone is really what supports your leg.
Oh, fucking A to watch that.
Wow. Go to the replay.
Is brutal.
Wow, that's way clearer.
Brutal.
Wow.
That's
wow,
two,
wow,
dude.
wow.
That is two pretty good sized bones in that part of your leg.
Wow. Wow.
Can we get it?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
What's
Better angle.
Trusted source of...
Broke. I mean, I can't even imagine what's going through your mind right now.
Well, to be honest with you, me and Corey, we cut weight together. We've been talking the whole time, man, and Corey's an awesome dude. And I wanted to beat him with every bit of my heart. But I don't want to see him like this, man.
Well, this is just an unfortunate freak accident. Take a look at the big screen, and we're going to show it to you right
Unfortunate,
now.
but let's show you again.
Oh, no.
Oh,
You check this
no.
kick right here, and bam. All that can be said. Very
Listen to the audience.
Corey Hill's a
It
warrior.
looks
We
like-
look forward to seeing him again. How about a a big round of applause for Corey Hill, ladies and gentlemen.
When he kicks,
Is he still on the ground as they're interviewing this guy?
Holy
when
shit.
he kicks, it looks like a sock that's holding something solid.
And we look forward to seeing you again as well.
Can we see that one again, Angle?
Joe, real quick. I've been a pain in Marcus Davis's butt for like 5 years now.
Oh,
I
lovers.
owe this win to him. I've been training a lot of extreme
All right,
couture.
no one cares.
They've been
I want to see the
absolutely
broken
awesome
leg.
to me.
Guy just fucking
Master
snapped his
Tony
leg.
and the
No one
Blueface
cares.
Boys.
You're right.
I love
Thank you to Corey for not drinking milk.
And, oh, man. Dale showing a lot of head movement.
I can't even look at it. Look at it. It's twisted around. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Get out of here.
He is in fucking pain, man.
That's got to end.
Look, hold on.
Dude,
Look at that right there.
look at that right
Trust me,
there.
Jimmy. We
Oh
see
my
it.
God.
Where do the people go?
I could beat him at that point.
Most people
Gumby,
know.
like,
but-
yeah, you know something? He could probably still kick
It
your
looks
ass.
like an ostrich leg.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It goes
It's
backwards
bent
like
the wrong way.
Where do they go?
Yeah, that's on UFC.com. It's like the first, when they load the homepage, there's a whole bunch of videos they could choose from. It's the first one.
Dana White promised us a good one yesterday, and he certainly delivered once again. Quick break. Where's Rob Bartlett? Is he coming in?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
I want to see the other one, too.
The
Who
arm?
broke their arm?
Yeah, we'll find out after the break.
I'm scared.
We got to go find that, Jimmy.
Who's hurt, Opie?
We got to find that, Jimmy.
I'm frightened.
And we got the latest taser video.
Love a
That's
good
how we
tasing.
started this break. We'll hopefully get to that next too. Opie and Anthony. But with real shows.
Yeah. I hear you. What are you looking for?
headphones
Hi, it's
so I
the
can help
Opie
you
and
out.
Anthony show. We're back from our little
we doing
bathroom
pajamagram?
break.
We're doing pajamagram.
Oh, it's a commercial.
Yeah, my headphones were like tangled around my
Ooh.
chair. Oh yeah, for Christmas, Anthony.
Yeah.
We talk about this every year. They got the pajamagram.
Yep.
I've actually sent this product, and the results very, very good.
What
Mommy
girl doesn't like-
loved her lingerie.
You didn't get your mother lingerie, did you?
Yeah, why not? Just spice things up for her.
I would think
I
the
said for her.
lingerie is for the girlfriend, but then there's also great comfy pajamas for like your mom, because you don't want to get your mom something sexy. It's a little weird.
I got my mom a nice tea back.
Jesus Christ. Pajamagram's got that.
Yeah.
And not only that, it comes in this beautiful hat box. She's going to love that. A lavender-scented sachet. And then the Do Not Disturb sign.
My mom loved the Do Not Disturb sign, by the way. What?
I don't know. That's more for the girlfriend.
I don't know what my mom's doing in there, but she loves the Do Not Disturb sign.
All right. Maybe she just likes, sleeping and stuff and not...
No, I think she likes cock.
Oh, no. See, these have to be shipped off to the sponsor.
You know what? Watch what the boys do in post, as they like to call it. They also have what, Ant? Gift cards?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they got the gift cards. You can get all this online, pajamagram.com. You'll find all the brands, the top brands of pajamas and lingerie, over 100 styles from comfy to sexy. You figure out who gets the sexy and who gets the comfy, all right? Also, they have the great bath and body products that you can add to your pajamagram to spoil your wife or girlfriend or mom. You can do this for mother.
Of course you can.
You could do this for mother, right, Jimmy?
Certainly
Mother.
can.
Mother.
That's right. Let those orderlies have something to look at. A little eye candy.
And there goes another edit. It only takes minutes to order a pajamagram, but she'll think you spent all month planning this one. A pajamagram is the perfect Christmas gift. Best of all, she'll think of you every time she puts them on. Overnight and Christmas delivery are guaranteed. It's a gift you're both going to love. So visit pajamagram.com. Check it out for yourself. Right now, you could give them a call, too. 1-800-GIVE-PJs or pajamagram.com. This slid is coming in tomorrow?
Seen the Dyke scene?
Holy shit. What?
Monday.
Oh, Monday?
Seen the Dyke scene pictures?
Yeah, we're getting this Penthouse Pet in on Monday.
Look at page 103.
103. How do you find pages in porno magazines?
I don't know.
It's always tough. 103. How do I?
Look for page 103 and look at that.
Hold on.
This penthouse
Look how
pet of the year
clean her asshole is.
is so hot.
And would you?
Scrumptiddlyicious.
Would you?
Oh, yeah, of course you do. You do that in a second.
Yeah, but she might have had some of that asshole bleaching. It still might stink
Are they
like a
bleaching
garbage
her
bag.
asshole?
I prefer a darker asshole, to be honest.
Yeah, but they
The
bleach
blonde
them now,
looks
Jimmy.
like Clarissa explains it all. Doesn't she, a little bit?
Yeah.
The penthouse pet that's coming in, pet of the year, has a fucking really a meaty vag. She's really sexy, man.
Rob Bartlett.
Oh,
Rob, we're
Rob.
looking
Hey,
at
there's Rob.
We're looking at a penthouse pet's asshole.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's another great show.
Yeah, you want to partake in the penthouse pet asshole conversation we're having right now?
Gee, where else could you do something like that? Ooh, I
Wow.
bet her father's proud.
Yeah.
Which one? What page are we on?
Well,
Wow,
Aunt
she's
started on
getting
page
a
103, but
mouthful right there.
I've moved on to some other pages.
I'm looking at the little, there's some licking action going on page 136 or something like that. Or...
Yeah, but go to page 81. It looks like her pussy. It looks like sushi going awry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, look, there's
Never like that.
There's something going on there.
What
do
do they
you think,
sell
Dan?
in the back of these days?
That's a California roll.
Sashimi. What's your favorite page, Rob?
Where are the articles?
Yeah, the story on what? Brett Favre. What's wrong with you?
How can we are all looking at a penthouse cynically? I don't get how there's a cynicism with these fucking...
Where was the cynicism?
Just I don't know.
Do you think these girls really like each other, or they're just putting it on for the camera?
Yeah, I know you're making a joke. The sad part is they just do it for the camera. We've seen this exact thing in studio. They make it all silly.
You know,
we don't
those
want,
Vanessa
we don't want
Williams-
our lesbians to be silly. We want them to be... Wow, this one looks like Kate Hudson.
You know those Vanessa Williams pictures were almost 25 years ago?
Who?
Wow.
Remember
Oh,
the
yeah,
Vanessa
yeah, yeah.
Williams
Yep.
picture?
With
Pet of the year, page 34 is
With the
great.
big pelt that she was sporting.
Oh, some nice sniper rifles on
would you?
page 64.
Would you?
Ooh,
How do you find rifles in a penthouse? I wouldn't...
I don't know. They,
What's wrong with you? Oh, there's some hot
got
lesbians.
some
There's
nice rifles, though.
Brennan
I
Lindsay.
think I own that one.
Pool party.
And it gets the same...
These are lovely.
Yeah, I got two of these rifles I own.
Yeah, where
I
are
don't
we
have
looking at
this
rifles?
one. In Penthouse, page 64.
Yeah.
Here's a hot one where the one girl is
It's right
spinning.
before the page where right after the page where the girl is blowing a gentleman wearing a powdered wig.
Why?
Was that
Why?
like Samuel Adams kind of a...
Yeah.
Why you have
Something
to-
like that.
There's one here where the girl's spitting into the
74,
girl's
what
pussy, but it's
fucking
fake
magazine
spit.
you're
Look
with?
at the fake
Oh,
spit.
60 something.
Look at the fake spit on page 135.
135 fake spit.
Are you following along at home, kid?
Yeah, pull out your workbooks.
We don't do this for them. We do this for ourselves.
135 fake spit.
Sex games. 130 what?
No, sense.
135.
130.
I don't see the spit. Where?
Page one. What do you have? Page 135.
That's
a
this
different
one.
issue.
Oh, what do you have?
I have this issue.
I have Pet of the Year issue.
Oh, you dummy!
Because I went to page 34 and it's a snowmobile.
It looks fun to ride. Also,
That's
but-
a pet of the year.
I'm not complaining with my 135 though. In my magazine, it's a good shot.
yeah, that
too.
was a good shot, but
Rubbing
wasn't
her-
fake spit. Look
She's-
at Jimmy's got his hand down
I
his
have
pants
a
now.
taint itch.
This
Oh, do
looks
ya?
like. Wait, these looks like Jesus. They look like twins. And the one twin is rubbing the clitoris through the panties of the other twin.
Jimmy, when you have a taint itch, where is the line where if you smelled your finger, it would smell like balls or it would smell like ass?
Usually it's a complete mix, anywhere from the belly button to the middle of my spine.
Because, you'd think the taint, it would either smell like balls if it's close there or asshole, but there's got to be some kind of a neutral zone.
My asshole-
A demilitarized zone.
My asshole.
38th parallel of your taint.
My asshole smells only like asshole. And it's very clean. I very rarely have like last night, I took a shit and then I hopped in the shower, but the log was still in there somewhere.
Oh, boy.
So as I was soaping out
You
my
gotta
asshole,
cut it off?
I could still smell my finger. No, it was still like mushed up shit in my ass way up there. But that's very rare for me. Normally my ass has no smell to it.
Right.
I don't
Well,
think it does.
congratulations.
It's an unscented.
It really is, yeah.
Unscented version, yeah.
For those people with allergies.
Mine is tropical mist.
Anybody need a drink?
Yeah. Will you get up and
By
leave?
the way, everyone throw their porno in the middle of the room so we can do our radio show.
I'm very excited about the impending marriage. I haven't gotten the invitation yet. So.
Oh boy!
You know what?
Oh
You
boy!
should have got the invite. I got to be honest.
Another person that fell to the wayside. Look at his finger.
I should have got the invite to you.
Whoa,
is what I'm saying. I'll tell you what happened.
Whoa! Yeah, he's.
I'm like Luke Costello here.
I started getting tired at the end of like inviting people, and then like I should have went through my my phone list one last time, and I just didn't feel like it. So there was a bunch of people that should have got invited that didn't. You're one of those people.
Yeah, it's just,
I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. I just got lazy at the end.
Your fucking pal who used to promote
I got
you.
lazy. I'm being honest.
Wearing a Opie Anthony T-shirt on
Yep,
MSNBC, interrupting weather reports.
Yep. There's probably 10 people I realized I should have invited, and I just didn't feel like dealing with that anymore.
The man who almost died on August 25th.
Yeah, we got to talk about
You know
that,
what pulled
Rob.
me through? You know what pulled me through?
Huh.
Was hoping that I was going to get to go to your fucking wedding.
Yeah.
Really? Dude,
Yes.
we thought you checked out. We got really scared.
I thought I checked out.
I apologize for not inviting you to the wedding, and I know you're making jokes,
Like I
but you
would've
should have
come.
been there.
Like I would have gone.
I don't care as long as the
All right.
invite, as long as you know that I was thinking about you.
No, I know.
Hey, so what happened, Rob? I didn't know you were talking about this. We got an email
Oh,
from
yeah.
somebody, and it's like, wow, Rob might be checking out.
Yeah.
I mean, it was ugly. What did it happen at work?
It happened on the way to work. It was the first day back after vacation. We'd been on vacation for 2 weeks.
Summer vacation.
And I was coming up the ramp at the parking lot on 32nd Street, and my legs felt really heavy, and I couldn't catch my breath. And next thing I know, some guy's going, "Hey, dude, you all right? You all right?" I'm on my back.
Out.
Wow.
Passed out?
I passed out. I just collapsed. I didn't, once I got to the top.
Did you feel sick when you woke up or anything like
no,
that?
that's the weird thing. I felt great.
Or leading up to this?
I felt great, and I had gone for a stress test on the Friday prior.
Oh, great!
That's
Isn't
why.
that nice?
Well,
Those
no, but-
fucking stress tests, let me tell you, that's why.
But here's the
they
fucking-
they shook some things loose there,
No,
Rob.
but here's the fucking thing: is I'm in the emergency room in St. Vincent's Hospital, and I'm getting the results of the stress test from the fucking other
great.
doctor.
Hey, you're fine.
Yeah, you're great. It's flying colors.
Really?
So I was lucky, that this guy woke me up because, I don't know if you're familiar with that neighborhood. There's no shortage of unconscious men at 5:30 in the morning on 32nd Street.
Yeah.
But so I got to the studio and called 911, and they sent the
Wait, you
the
woke
ambulance.
up because the guy said you're all right.
Yeah.
And you proceeded to continue to work and
Yeah,
then
'cause I
call
didn't-
911?
Yeah.
How about you call it right from the sidewalk?
Because I wanted to make sure I just knew I was coming to work. That I wasn't.
I know. I'm sure
Right.
would dock you,
So-
dock your pay or something.
Good thing this
meanwhile-
didn't happen yesterday. They would have thought you were gay. No, I
On his
understand.
back, Chelsea, we
Yeah.
get it.
And it's
Speaking of gay, by the way, Stephen S. from Bayshore, all kidding aside, should have been invited to the wedding. He was one that in the end, I got lazy and I should have invited.
Was Pat from Moonachie invited?
Pat probably wouldn't have made it if I continued thinking about the list.
So all the people who were at your bachelor party.
Yeah, a lot of those guys maybe should have been invited.
They didn't make the cut.
Big A didn't make the cut.
No, Big A. He read the letters to the Corinthians or whatever. The whole thing took 5 hours.
So now you're at work, Rob.
Yeah, I was at work and
Call 911.
they show up with the ambulance. And,
What was Zymus saying through this whole thing?
Well, he was still out at the ranch.
Oh shit!
So I'm in like one of the equipment rooms, off the street, and the EMT show up, and the first thing the guy says to his partner goes, "We're going to need a couple more people."
Oh shit!
So that's what you want. You want to make a fucking fat joke when you die. Right?
Yeah.
So they actually got a couple of homeless guys to help pick up the
For real.
the gurney to stick it in the back of the ambulance. So
What was wrong?
I had a pulmonary embolism. I had a blood clot behind my left knee that came loose and passed through my heart and landed. They call it a saddle clot. It landed in the artery between both lungs. And something like 85-90% of people who have that don't get up. So I'm
You're
pretty
a real lucky man.
Yeah, but now I got all this fucking pressure now. I have to find meaning for my life. I don't need this shit.
Nah.
Yeah. You're like, wow, there's a reason I don't believe that crap.
No,
there's a reason. God wanted me to.
He kept me here. No, it was
you just got lucky.
Some lucky thing that just
like a lucky bounce in baseball. You got a lucky bounce.
A lucky bounce.
I'm serious. I don't believe in that. Well, he must have something in store for me.
How'd they fix that?
They don't. They were going to go in and take it out, but that was, potentially that the clot can break off.
Wouldn't that be bad? If it's like, all right, we got. Oh, it got away from us.
I had a clot.
Yeah,
it would be like one of those deals.
So it's still there.
They had me on blood thinners. Supposedly, it's been worn down. They took the ones out of the leg surgically with this little Roto-Rooter thing, and then they put a net in on the other side where the arteries said that would catch them. They got me on the Coumadin, which is rat poison, and then seriously, it's rat poison.
Yeah, because what it does is it makes the rats just bleed internally.
So they thin the blood, and supposedly that breaks down the clots, and then your body absorbs them and whatever.
How much Coumadin? A lot.
I take 3.
Big dose.
3 pills a day.
You can't be in an accident or any of that stuff.
I can't shave.
You gotta be very careful.
Can't shave, nothing.
You're shaving, though.
Electric razor.
Ah.
Very nice.
Can you get an erection?
Huh?
Does the blood thinner fuck your rods up?
Oh, well, kinda.
Kinda.
Jeez, I mean,
Rob, you're a ball of laughs.
Well, you know what? See, I had problems to begin
rods,
with.
Blood thinner, shave.
Before the clots, I was having problems. Anyway, mostly premature, like really premature.
How premature?
During dinner.
So it doesn't help that you wear.
I remember ordering Alfredo.
I like to see him whine.
It doesn't help that you're wearing all black like Johnny Cash now.
But it's
How about
slimming.
a little sunshine?
Black
there,
is
Rob?
sling. Oh, I'm trying to.
How about a little sunshine?
There you go.
What do you want to do?
Are you on a strict diet and exercise?
Oh, no. And being fat has nothing to do with it, which is great. So, I mean, I still should lose 100 pounds, but I'm going to the doctor today. I'm going to get the, that test where they bend you over the table and the.
Give you the old whammy.
Can I say, does your dentist do that?
No, not my
Okay, so I
dentist.
thought it was a little
no,
unusual.
that's weird.
I got a doctor that
my hairdresser.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
I got a doctor that loves doing it. You come in with strep throat, you're going to get your hiney checked.
See, this is what I don't understand. How does somebody go through all those years of medical school, residency, internship, and then they decide, you know what? This is my calling. To stick my finger in strange men's assholes. Where does
we got it figured out?
You do.
Gay guy.
Is that it?
Found a loophole.
Really?
There's no way you decide you want to look at asses for a living unless somehow it turns you on a little bit.
I mean, OBGYN.
Foot doctor, same thing. Foot fetish thing.
I don't know.
Fucking gynecologists, they're just pervs.
They save it for last too. The doctors when because I know that when you do the yearly physical, it's everything else they do. The chest X-ray, they check your eyes, your ears, your throat, everything else. They do that. Friggin' gives me the heebie-jeebies where they feel around for things. They're like, "Yeah, let me feel your neck." I'm like, "No, it's not.
You don't like that?
Ticklish. I don't. It gives me the heebie-jeebies."
Not good. Not good.
And then the grand finale is. The
headliner.
The headliner comes out. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to bring out your headliner. Big hand for the finger in the ass. Come on, everyone. Give it up for the finger up
And
the
he
ass.
tries to make small talk. That's the thing that kills me. It's like you're both trying to pretend that this isn't going on. You might feel a slight pinch, Bob. You know,
it's like I made a sound that I can only imagine a virgin homosexual makes it the first time he gets it.
You moaned and
it was
came
like,
on your leg?
I did. That's exactly what it was. It was like,
you feel like a Muppet. I mean, it's
and then they just peel off a few paper towels and give them to you, and then you have the degrading where you got to wipe the lubricant out of your ass, and then driving home, you feel it's squishy, and then when you get home, you got to shower, so you take your underwear off, and there's just this wad of lubricant in there, and you just feel violated. Violated.
I have a Pavlovian response to it now. The minute that glove snaps, my asshole slams shut like a bear trap. I mean, it's just, there ain't nothing.
They say some guys come when they're getting that procedure done.
Yes, that's the milking the prostate thing.
And who does that?
But that usually costs an extra $50, right?
That would have to be
and they say
the gayest man ever.
They say it happens.
In a doctor's office environment.
Get Dr. Steve on the phone. And they say it's not even a sexual thing. It's just because you're touching the prostate or something.
I think
and all of a sudden it's like, oh, fuck, you just start spraying.
He's not giving a reach around at the same time.
That's what they say happens, my friend. That's
a magic button?
Huh? I guess.
That's a magic button.
Little G-spot for the dude.
God, that just doesn't.
So, Rob,
thrill
how
me.
long were you in the hospital?
2 weeks.
And it was touch and go for a
2
while.
weeks. Yeah, they would. The operation. I think they were the most worried about. They did a sonogram while I was in the emergency room to check to make sure the heart wasn't straining to push the blood past the clot into the lung.
Oh.
And so that's why they didn't want to do that surgically. And they figured that if the heart was in trouble, they were going to just do it because it would be a life-threatening deal.
Right.
But the heart was in great shape. The heart's in great shape. So.
How big is a blood clot?
This one was about the size of an Almond Joy, apparently. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
An Almond Joy? Like what?
Like one of those little things.
It was that
That's why they're
big.
so bad.
Wait, the whole candy bar?
Well, there's two of those little. Yeah.
Why can't
One
they
of them
take that
in.
out?
Well, because if they disrupted it, if they moved it, is before they put the net in, it could have traveled to my.
Well, if the net's in, they get it, right?
Depends on which way it goes. I think because of where it was.
Yeah, was
located.
it going into the lungs or was it coming out?
It's
the superior or the inferior vena cava?
Actually, Anthony, it was on the on the bridge, what they call the saddle clot.
The pulmonary artery or the pulmonary vein?
A pulmonary artery, apparently.
Ah, so that's going back to the heart.
Yes.
Which is backwards, as a matter of fact, from the pulmonary vein, from veins and arteries, because veins carry the blood that is already deoxygenated.
You don't prove
Professor.
You don't have to prove yourself anymore. Everyone knows you're smart.
In the pulmonary vein and artery, it's backwards because it's going away from the heart to the lung to be reoxygenated.
But what about, can't they just clip either side of the clot, like just fucking stop the vein real quick and then fucking cut it out and then restitch the vein? What the fuck?
Do you think there's some heart surgeon that studied everything about the heart for his entire life that just listening to this show went, oh my God, Jimmy Norton just figured this out for us.
They're going to call it Norton's embolism.
It's Norton's embolism surgery.
I thought they were going to call it the TED procedure.
No, Ted has nothing on this one.
I know.
Does he?
He might in a
Ted the
minute,
heart
though.
surgeon?
Yes, of
Ted the
course.
heart surgeon might have something.
One time I opened someone's heart and there were little candies in it on Valentine's Day.
A Brax heart.
Hey, Rob, where are you going to be? You're going to do
I'm doing a Christmas show at Gotham.
Nice.
Saturday night and the
Very
brokerage
cool.
on Sunday night.
Very cool.
This weekend.
How's the radio show going?
Great.
How's Imus?
Great.
Haven't heard in a while.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
No good, yeah.
Please.
Please.
Nah.
People are saying that Ant is wrong about his knowledge.
That's a dope.
What?
Yeah.
No, about the a pulmonary artery and the pulmonary vein.
Psycho Bob has you beat up.
All right, let me
So a
see.
guy named Psycho Bob.
Let me talk to Psycho Bob then.
All right, Psycho Bob.
Psycho Bob,
Professor Anthony.
where am I wrong with the pulmonary artery and the pulmonary vein?
All right, arteries always lead blood away from the heart.
Uh-huh.
Veins always return blood to the heart.
And that's why I was saying the pulmonary artery is the only artery in the human body that carries deoxygenated blood.
You said that it was leading blood away from the heart. And you said it was the artery was leading blood back to the heart, didn't you?
No, I said the artery.
You are correct in that it is deoxygenated blood.
Yes, and it's an artery that carries the, blue blood, they say, and the vein carries the red oxygenated blood back.
Right, but it's always that arteries lead blood away from the heart.
Right.
Veins lead it back to the heart.
Oh, I understand that. I was just talking about whether it's oxygenated or deoxygenated blood.
Where'd you learn this?
Yes, thank you.
Punch it out.
I learned that actually in school.
Forget Aristotle and fuck Socrates. Here comes Professor Anthony.
Thank you.
Nice. He's not only an alcoholic, he's really smart.
I try.
What are you guys talking about on the Imus show? What's the big topic?
Blagojevich. I mean, this guy is...
boy.
Isn't he great?
That's like a gift from God.
They might have Jesse Jackson's son.
He could
Candidate
be number
right?
5. Candidate number 5.
Might be
Is that like
Jackson's
client
son.
number 9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be. Man, this guy
What's
just
candidate-
trying to sell the
Senate
seat.
seat.
Trying to sell this seat.
I don't have a problem.
And is
with
this something that is business as usual when things happen like that?
I don't have a problem with that. I
You don't
see
have
what
a
the
problem?
big deal is. I mean, everything's for sale. Everything's got a price.
Yeah,
You
even
know?
a Senate seat.
If I was him, I would have put up on fucking eBay.
Now that would be interesting. A Senate seat available now.
Somebody's sitting there
You
waiting.
could bid on
Somebody's
it.
bidding.
Oh, I'm going to pay the buy now.
Buy now.
I'm going to do the buy now because I really want this.
On a Senate seat, you got to go with the buy now.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
you
take
don't want
chances.
to lose
PayPal,
out.
PayPal.
He has a great head of hair, doesn't he? Holy shit, does he have a JFK do? That fucking
yeah.
hair is
He looks a little like
fluffy.
Janet Reno, doesn't he?
Wow,
that's
yeah,
very
he
good.
does. Kind of look that way. But yeah, he's been a naughty boy though.
Oh, which is I love when they talk about how it's just calling Obama motherfucker, and
Oh yeah, the language in it is great.
his wife isn't any better.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, she's awful.
Horrible.
It is great though that when they bug these people now, you just get the real raw language and
Oh, it's unbelievable.
And even Obama told him, step down. What are you doing? And he says no. After that huge bail that he had to post, I don't know how he's supporting himself. What was that? $4,000 he had to pay bail? These fucking politicians, man.
They're all scared up there.
It's
What this guy has on him.
amazing.
He probably has stuff on everybody.
And in case you guys are
Amazing.
wondering, there actually is a Senate seat for sale up on eBay. I guess.
Oh, is there somebody?
It's currently going.
Somebody smart.
Yeah, it's going for $61.
That's it. Buy now.
That's not a fucking real Senate seat, dude.
It's probably just
Oh,
a chair.
literal gym.
It's a chair. It's a chair.
It's a
Yeah.
seat.
What about? I'm sure you guys were batting around the whole Obama thing before he got elected, and where did you stand on that one?
I think it's. I mean,
Were you pro or con?
I've
or
been pro.
pro
I mean,
Obama. You're pro Obama.
I'm pro change.
Yeah.
I'm pro change. That's today, tomorrow.
Yeah. So when does the change happen? When he appoints a cabinet full of people we've seen for years and years? This change is hysterical. I thought maybe, Louis Farrakhan was coming in and some fucking old Soviet socialist, communist had come in for something.
shit.
And it's the same guys we've seen batted around forever.
Well, you can't take too many chances. You gotta,
No, especially when your whole platform was changed. The liberals are all getting annoyed that they're not getting these seats, these appointments by Obama. It's business as usual.
I'm waiting.
I think they took him in the back room when they gave him that little security clearance thing, which is odd that that's the first meeting that the president-elect has, is they fill him in on national security things and some of the more
Before you make your
secretive
Because of
things.
football and all that.
Yeah, they fill him in on all that fun stuff. And when he walks out, the hair's a little whiter. It's like when Moses came down from Mount.
He's a different man.
Ararat, or what was that? Yeah.
Holy shit.
Mount Sinai. Was it Sinai or Mount Ararat? Which one was
Airy Lodge?
Mount Airy Lodge?
Did you see the South Park episode that came? It was like the day after the election, where they had Obama and McCain were actually working together to rob. Well, they were robbing the. It was great. But what they did was they actually had the speech that Obama gave, and they had it. I mean, what did they turn those episodes in?
Oh yeah, they.
The day they aired,
real quick now.
Yeah, they said they
2 hours before, so the fucking
Obviously, Rob. Look at the animation. It stinks.
Quick turnaround.
Of course, they turn around quick.
What? That's animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Those are real people?
Thought they were real, just strange-looking people.
But the mystery is really simple. Whoever gives Obama the secret documents and all that, that's the guy running the country. So who is that guy?
Yeah, he's secret document guy. He knows
Secret
everything.
document guy really runs the country. The president is just a figurehead.
It's actually a guy named Chauncey Gardner.
No, it's not.
No, you smile, Jimmy.
That's from a movie.
I think he'll enjoy this.
Looks like Jimmy's reading for
Obama.
another role. Is
Yeah.
there a character Chauncey Gardner?
No, did you ever see Being There?
Huh?
It's a reference to a film in the 80s.
Peter Sellers.
You were
Oh,
11.
fuck.
1980.
Now I
yeah.
look stupid.
No, that's all right. It's a weird one.
I like to watch Eve.
Very good.
Yeah, the idiot savant.
Hey, let's get back to assholes. We got Dr. Steve on the phone.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Dr. Steve, how are you, sir?
Hey, Vintner to the stars.
Hi, Steve.
Yes.
Wow,
Why don't you get
what-
off the speakerphone unless you got your hand up some guy's ass?
Hang on a second. I'm going to move. I'm in a bathroom
Bank vault.
hospital. So now I'm in a patient lounge now. If somebody comes in, I'll probably have to bail on you. But
Yeah.
All right, we're talking about getting fingers up the ass. What was the question for Dr. Steve?
It was
now?
actually, do some men orgasm spontaneously
yeah.
during one of these prostate exams, doctor?
yeah, absolutely.
Really?
And is it sexual or is it more of just a physical thing because you touch the prostate?
Yeah, it's a physical thing. What happens is they will ejaculate, not necessarily have an orgasm. As you press on the prostate, you can actually express fluid out, and we'll do that on purpose sometimes. If we think someone's got a prostate infection, you just stick your finger in, you go up one side, down the other, and then push real hard down the middle. And then you'll express fluid out onto a slide and look at it under the microscope or
hot,
whatever you want to with it.
Or make wine out of it.
You do it to an elephant, and then all that elephant pre-cum, you fucking put a little red stuff that you got from Jim Jones's house.
Part of your job is you study jism.
Absolutely, under the microscope and smell it to see if it smells like it's infected, all kinds of stuff.
You really.
What does it taste? Like it's a bag of cocaine with Colombians in the room.
Wait a minute.
He's got to give a little taste.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Now we know why he's a winemaker. It sounds like the same thing you do when you got a nice bottle of wine. You smell the cork a little bit.
This is cut with crazy glue.
This jizz has a lovely nose.
You squeeze the cork for moisture, and then you do the little taste test.
Yes, Dr. Steve, you did get quite a thrashing. I must thank you, though, for those cookies. Those are fantastic.
Bravo on that, my friend.
Those are the same ones that Opie threw on the floor?
One of them, but I had a nice box of them when I got home, and wow, really good. Thank you so much, Dr. Steve.
Steve, you know I play a role on the radio. I enjoyed your blue boxes of goodness.
Well, it was the best Christmas present I ever had, getting thrashed by you guys for 40 minutes.
It really just went. It did go on and on and on.
It was endless.
Casey was in her car, and she went in to do a sales call and came back out, and she said, and they were still talking about you.
Still railing you and your wine.
Didn't we have another doctor question for you?
Well, let me tell you one thing about the smelling things and tasting things. Back before we had urine dipsticks, doctors had to actually taste patients' urine to see if they had diabetes. And that's why it's called diabetes mellitus or mellitus, because the word mellitus means taste sweet. So.
What?
No fucking way,
wow.
dude. How long ago? Because I understand 1800s, they were weird.
A week and a half ago.
18, I'm thinking like 1400s.
Nah, the 1800s, they were still doing fucked up stuff. What year?
Another kind of diabetes where people just pee out free water, and it's called diabetes insipidus, and insipid means that it just tasted insipid. So that's where those words came from.
What year were they still doing this?
Sip it. That's what that meant.
Sip it.
I'll get the exact years for you when we finally got urine dipsticks. Praise the Lord for that.
No kidding.
Yeah. Jesus, how long did that take? After the first doctor tasted it, I'd be like, I'm inventing the urine dipstick.
Yeah. They're calling you a cum smeller, Dr. Steve. I'm really sorry for that.
They
AIDS
shouldn't.
fucker, you know.
But you're eating his cookies. That's the thing that's most disturbing.
Right.
He's expressing fluid. You're eating his fucking cookies.
That's true.
If it comes out smelling rancid like pus, you can't help but smell
my
it.
God.
I mean, it's not like you put it up to your nose and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to make you smell cum next time you come to New York. You know that, right?
That sounds like a better bit than the other bit that I used.
Oh, you'd rather smell cum than stick fingers up a guy's ass?
That's a thing called sarcasm, my friend.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Sorry, you got me on that one.
Because I'll fucking whip out a batch onto a slide.
No
for Steve to
problem.
smell as a joke.
That's right.
Because you're good like that, Jim.
Yeah, here you go, you silly goose.
Yeah, now smell this.
Take a whiff.
So,
well, Dr. Steve, thank you so much for your generous Christmas gifts.
It was nice.
You're welcome.
And yes.
Thank you guys for trashing me on the air and for letting me be on with the great Rob Bartlett. I'm a huge fan.
Yes.
Are you really?
Well, thank you, Dr. Steve.
Very cool.
I have a very different opinion.
Well, why don't you give ask Rob a question there, Dr. Steve?
Yeah, so, well, how are things going?
That's really insightful. That's
That's a good one.
It's really great. Thanks, Steve.
I'm a great interviewer.
Hey, Dr. Steve, our theory that like guys that look at assholes all day, a little bit on the homo side.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true. I tell you what, proctology is a really it's an easy surgical specialty, and a lot of the proctologists get mad at me, but it's very circumscribed, and you only have to handle a certain number of problems, and so a lot of people go into proctology because of that.
Okay.
I'm glad that people are interested in going in that, so that I wouldn't have, been in a situation where I would have had to be forced to do it. You know, so
Yeah.
I'm really glad that people are interested in doing proctology. It's just, you know,
how far up does a proctologist cover, and then it goes to like the other, intestinal doctor, whatever that is,
Gastroenterologist.
gastroenterologist.
Yeah, proctologists will do rectum, sigmoid colon, that kind of thing. You know,
So
they-
their whole job is what, 2-3 knuckles? That's about it.
About an inch and a half on a wiffle ball bat.
I would guess the same distance that a nice cock could get in there.
Oh, is that it?
If you listen to the questions on, say, my show,
Yes.
or the question, or the things that you all talk about, who doesn't have asshole problems, And so there's a lot of business for proctology,
At some point in their lives.
and it
Yeah.
affects your well-being. And,
Usually our
quality of life.
asshole problems involve going to a meeting over at Sirius.
Hey, gynecologists, what are they about?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. There are quite a few women in gynecology now, and most of the women that I know that go to women gynecologists say they're rougher than the men. And and that's a broad generalization. So all the women GYNs, I'm sure you have many that listen to the show. Don't get mad at me, but it's OB is a really satisfying thing because you're bringing new life into the world. And I delivered probably 250 babies in my training, and I kind of got a little weepy every time I did one.
I guess.
And,
That's right.
Man up.
That's why you now sniff and cum.
Well, I'm just being honest. But the thing about it is that
That's good. The doctor's crying.
Right. Well, you're supposed to be cutting the umbilical cord, Grace.
Somebody have a Mo Howard haircut, Doc? What are you trying for?
This is so beautiful. Can we get a
really
doctor that's not a fruit? It's time to cut this thing. Stop crying.
Huh.
Sorry.
But then there's all of those moments, and then you've got these moments of absolute sheer unmitigated panic when something goes wrong, and so that's why I couldn't go into it. But
Yeah.
people like it. It's a surgical field where you get to do things, and it's sort of self-limited. You've got a 9-month period where you see the patient, and then they're out of there.
So, and then you're kind of building up a little relationship. You want to see what this is like. I would think a moment of sheer panic. What happened?
I'm sorry.
It's being paid.
I would think a moment of sheer panic would be watching the husband and wife standing there, both white, and a black baby coming out, and you panicking, having to hold up the baby in front of the husband.
The opposite happens a lot, that little babies of African American descent don't have all of their melanin cells kicking in when they're first born, and so
Really?
they come out looking extremely light very often. And we've had a couple of instances where the father wondered what had been going on, because where did this white baby come from? But then after a day or two, the melanin cells kick in, and everything's okay, and there's a happy ending.
After a day or two, God, gives his curse.
Jesus. What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know.
Do you understand who's sitting here?
Allegedly.
Who dodged the bullet.
Why is Rob running out the
Jesus.
door? He's not healthy enough to run, but he's running.
I'm heading out,
He's
guys.
fine.
I gotta go to
Oh, Jimmy Norton's got a pack.
Gotta go. Yeah, I gotta go to fucking L.A.
Pack your bags.
Yeah.
Rob, always. Thanks for the Imus autograph. Rob got Imus to sign my picture, which was a great thrill.
Does Imus like Jimmy's book there, Rob?
I
I
think
love Jimmy's book.
I doubt he's even looked at it.
I think Jimmy should be on the show to promote the book.
Does
He
Imus
wouldn't
call
have
you?
me on, I don't think.
Huh?
Yeah,
I
he
think
wouldn't
he'd
have
me
him
on.
on.
No, he wouldn't have me on.
Imus call you a wussy? He friggin' had a collapsed lung when he fell off that horse, and
Yeah, he's still phoned in.
yeah,
He's still phoned in. So did I, though. I phoned in from the hospital. 'cause
Yeah.
yeah. Phone it.
meal
We
ticket.
phone it in every day.
No.
that's our job.
Did you see what I wrote on the back of the envelope for the?
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but I did see it.
Courier.
Get AIDS.
Don't shit on this.
Courier
on this.
Courier, don't shit on this.
Imus signed it. Funnier than the losers on my program. Imus.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Jimmy. Bye
is
for
good.
room this weekend, right?
Rob, always a pleasure.
James.
Yeah.
Thank you,
We'll see
baby.
Jimmy on Monday.
Safe trip, Jimmy Norton.
Yeah, I
Is
hope
this the
so.
Viper Room gig?
I'm doing it. Yeah, tomorrow and Saturday.
You could always text me if you
Florentine.
get lonely.
Oh, I will. On the plane, I'll LOL.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right,
Bye, Jimmy.
Hi, Jimmy.
Dr. Steve says bye.
Look at him going to L.A. Jimmy's all over the place.
Thanks a lot.
see you next week, Jimmy.
He looks sad.
No, he's
tired.
Yeah, he's probably sleepy. We don't sleep. You know, mornings.
That's true.
It's
Morning
just the worst.
morning
It's true.
radio is so bad.
That's why we're going back to afternoons.
Oh, you are?
No, we're not.
Yeah, we really are.
Jeez, no, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not.
Yeah,
That'd be good, like the old days.
Yeah, we're going old school, my friend.
Better
Old
not
school.
be.
We're going old
Jesus.
school, my
Voyeur
friend.
bus.
Old school.
I
Old
didn't mean to
school,
make
which
you
means a
nervous about that.
Jägermeister machine.
I was just trying to go for a joke that failed miserably, so don't worry.
Well, it's
that dumb
not
black
unusual
joke
for
was
you,
stupid.
Opie.
Yeah, thanks.
That's happened.
Thanks, that'll help
Where
my
the show ends with
self-confidence.
a whimper rather than a bang.
Oh,
Is he
Dr.
still
Steve is
on?
still on the phone. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Still on the phone.
Sorry, I thought maybe there's a patient there. Well, just snake a tube up his nose and tell him I'll be there in an hour.
Right.
Smell it.
Caddyshack? No. Whatever.
It's bad when you got to actually point to the reference.
Caddyshack. Ta-da! A bum. What a bum.
Dr. Peepers. Was it Peepers?
Dr. Beeper and Dr. Beeper and I have been.
I used to call him Dr.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Peeper?
It was Beeper. Dr.
It was
Beeper.
Beeper.
It was
He
at
had
the Beeper.
Yeah.
Danny.
Danny and Lacey Underalls.
Fell miserably here. All right, Dr. Steve, thank you so much.
Yes, doctor. Always very
All right, boys.
informative. Always great to have you. And again, thank you for your generous Christmas
Oh,
gifts.
thank you.
That's-
I don't talk to you guys before.
Wait.
Have a great holiday.
Well, two
You
plugs.
too.
Your Strange Medicine, which is a brilliant concept for a radio
Yeah.
show. Very interesting. When's the next one?
The next Weird Medicine.
Weird Medicine. I'm sorry.
Will be December 27th. It's pre-recorded, our Christmas extravaganza.
Nice. And also that website that you sent to me, I checked out it. It's pretty cool.
Which website is that?
You got some kind of website you do.
Two girls,
and,
one
and
cup.
you're like blogging and stuff.
Yeah, Dr.
Meat
Steve
spin.
does.
Meat spin.
Meatspin.com.
He explains the physics behind the rotating penis in meat spin.
What is it, drsteve.com?
Yeah, drsteve.com.
Wow, you got that one.
Do you spell out doctor?
I got both of them. I've got D-O, the spelled out one and the abbreviated.
How did he get that?
I don't know.
I think there'd be a lot of Dr. Steves around.
That's pretty
I know.
smart.
Good.
I had to cajole some other Dr. Steve.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of get some muscle on him.
He wasn't doing anything with it.
Fuck him.
All right, that sounds important.
Cold blue, crash cart.
I got you.
He's
Somebody's
just-
coding it. He's on the phone
Yeah,
with you guys.
he's just, I'll get to it.
Clear!
We got a tasing video, and then we're going to go to break. Rob Bartlett's going to be at Gotham Comedy Club.
This Saturday
Yes.
night.
Yes.
Two shows.
Two shows.
It's a big old Christmas show with the reunion of the Bartletts.
Oh, right. The Bartletts.
What were the Bartletts?
Bartletts are
Wow.
my backup group.
Okay.
Some hot babes in some skimpy Santa costumes that
Yeah.
will come out, and they'll accompany Blind Mississippi White Boy Pig Feets Dupree and his new version of Shave Yo Kitty.
Nice.
Oh.
Which is a new blues song.
You, I meant to ask you this for so long. Now I kept forgetting. Did you have a bit part in Midnight Run?
You know,
have you been asked that before?
I've been asked that before.
It
no.
looks like a young Rob Bartlett
Yes.
in the airplane.
Yes, it would have been a young Rob Bartlett too.
Yes.
Midnight Run was
Because I looked and was like, what the hell? That looks like Rob Bartlett.
Yeah, it's a little spooky, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I tell it to people all the time.
You
It's not-
do?
It's not me. Though.
I saw it recently, and I was like, I gotta ask Rob that because I think it's probably too. I think you were younger then than the guy is on the plane.
Probably.
Yeah, because I was like trying to do some math there, and math hurts my head. But yeah, kind of looked like you.
Yeah, no, it
I'm
wasn't.
asking.
I wasn't. I wish it was. 'Cause,
Yeah.
So
funny movie.
That was a great movie. Great. That was a good movie to be in.
Yes.
Some of the shitty movies I've been in.
At least you get to be in movies.
Yeah,
well, they're not
true.
exactly movies. I mean,
it can always be worse.
Well, technically, they're movies.
The first thing I was in was something called the 6 o'clock news, where they were trying to do like a, like almost like an what was that movie? Almost like a Groove Tube.
Yeah,
But it
Kentucky
was-
Fried
or a
Movie
Kentucky
kind
Fried
of a
movie, but
thing,
It was
yeah.
centered around a news team.
Sure.
And I was the Puerto Rican sportscaster, Marty Cohn. So that's where.
That's
Okay.
so that's
So
the
that was
level.
the level of the humor.
Yeah, that's where the
right
bar
there.
was set.
That's where they set the bar on that one. That was the first one, and then I was a Hindu cab driver in a movie called Spin the Bottle, where I actually got to ad lib, which was fun. Well, I didn't have a script.
Yeah.
And then I did.
What were you, Haji, doing?
I was kind of just.
Just some of those awful, just stereotypical.
I could get you to the airport in 20 minutes. It all depends on whether it's high or low tide.
Yes, of course.
And then I did something called Table One with Burt Young and
okay.
Oh wow.
And Stephen Baldwin and it's actually it's not a bad movie, but it's I'm at the end. I'm in the very end. I play an agent.
The most important part is they are images that are captured and move, which technically makes it a movie.
Absolutely.
So
and you can actually purchase them on DVD.
Right.
And that's all that counts.
See, that's what counts.
That's all that counts.
Are you doing Broadway?
No Broadway now. There may be something coming up next year. We'll see.
The Great White Way, as they call it. Yes.
He was great in Odd Couple. What was the other one I saw you in? I saw you in two, didn't I?
No.
Just the one?
You only saw a couple. You were supposed to come see Chicago because
I didn't want to see
because your
Chicago.
wife now really wanted to see it, but
because he got married.
Yeah. Now she's a wife.
I couldn't do the musical thing. I'm sorry.
Well, see, that's what's great about Chicago.
Musicals?
They're all in fishnets. They're all in fishnets. It's all hot babes and fishnets.
The girls look good.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
I went to a
true,
couple
I
of
guess.
musicals. I saw Les Mis.
You see Les Mis?
I went to Les Mis.
That's a very
a lot of
inspirational
singing
story.
and shooting in that one.
Yeah, singing and shooting.
The problem with musicals, they sing too much.
Well, that's except you know what musical I don't sing a lot.
You're relieved when they take 2 minutes to talk. You're like, oh, finally.
Miracle
they're
Worker.
just setting up the
The
next
Miracle
goddamn
Worker.
song.
There's not a lot of singing in that one.
Not a lot of singing.
No.
Some good.
There's a wah-wah ballet.
Wah-wah. Why, as a child, did that make me laugh my ass off? Me and my brother would watch the old Miracle Worker.
Yeah.
With Patty Duke, and when she puts her hand under that pump and feels the water, and she's going, whoa, whoa, whoa. For years, me and my brother did that. Under the sink, you turn it on, and to get a glass of water, and you just put your hand in there and go, whoa, and the other guy's just laughing his ass off.
Absolutely. It's the same kind of like the kind of laugh that you really you're not supposed to be laughing like.
Yeah.
It was during the Thanksgiving Day parade, they had the color guard. The special needs color guard.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're like, but you're chuckling a little bit.
Well, because there's a blind guy dancing with this girl, and then she dances away, and he's standing.
He has no idea where
he is.
He is.
So it's just, he knows he's in front of Macy's. That's all. It's awful.
Amazing. Obama's having a press conference today.
Yeah.
To talk about Chicago, probably.
I don't know. They're not sure if they're going to be able to ask him any of those questions. He's been having a lot of press conferences and talking about what he's going to do, who he's appointing.
Well, he's already doing it,
and whatnot.
He is the president.
Is he? Well, Bush isn't.
No, that's for sure.
He's completely now just given up any hope of any legacy or anything.
I like all the stuff that he's coming out with now. All these regrets and things.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, that probably wasn't a good idea.
Good idea. He would have to, like the last day of his administration, be like, "Here's the cure for AIDS. Here's the cure for cancer. I've been working on this for 8 years.
I had to bring up my friend Jesus.
So the problem, all the resources that I needed for these cures were in Iraq, but I can now tell you why." And people would be like, "Fucking guy's a genius and a miracle work." Everything.
He's going to give.
Here's eternal youth. The secret to eternal youth.
He's going to give the whole country a big fuck you because he's going to show Osama. Here you go, fuckers.
You think?
No,
of course not.
That would be fucking
that guy's
awesome.
Done. And then Obama's saying that very shortly after he is the president, he wants to give a major speech in a Muslim city, sort of like a healing thing. It's not to be interpreted as some kind of concession or any kind of, hey, we're going to be lenient on terrorism and stuff. But he wants to go to a Muslim city and give a speech there and address these people to try to make peace.
Well, he's going to go with a very safe one. Which one do you think he would go with?
I don't know. What's that place in Jersey? That's probably what.
Yeah, what town is it?
Where they were allegedly celebrating after 9/11.
Right. That's not a bad idea, though, don't you think? I mean, to try and
I like it.
That's what you're going to be dealing with over there.
I like it.
You know what? If Bush went there, they would be burning the effigies and the flags and everything like that. I think Obama going there, look, I'm a real Republican kind of leaning conservative guy. Yeah, yeah. Surprised. And even
that's what
I'm
the guys
thinking,
in militia say, by the way. Just so you know.
By the way, and even I'm thinking that might not be a bad idea as long as it doesn't show weakness. He goes in there with weakness anyway. I think him just being there is weakness. Being a Democrat isn't necessarily a strength thing.
Why does that make a difference?
It just, Republicans are more known for being a little tougher with foreign policy than Democrats are. It's just the way it's always been. Whether it's
Harry Truman
works
had a
or
pretty good
doesn't.
foreign policy.
Yeah, over the top. Well, you know something? He had some foreign policy,
Cheers.
that guy.
No kidding.
You can't say he didn't light up the foreign policy there.
Well, it seems it's.
I think in time it's changed. Obviously,
Yeah.
Democrat and Republican has changed over the years.
The lines
where we
blurred.
are right now, I do think it's Democrats are looked at as being the weaker of the two as far as foreign policy goes with strength. With diplomacy, I think they do have a strength there. But when you're in a position that we're in with terrorism and stuff, you got to walk a fine line between showing, hey, we're strong, we do have the capability, and I do have the gumption to use our army. But on the other hand, I'm willing to sit down and talk to you. And then it puts the ball kind of in their court. And then if they fuck up by, more terrorism, more of this, then you say, look, I did all I could. I tried. Then you can't be lambasted by the rest of the world.
Right.
But
here's the thing. Obama is really, really smart. I mean, he's got about 80 IQ points on Bush.
Perhaps more than that.
Perhaps more than that. So I think that's, I think you can kind of relax a little bit because I think I think he's been thinking about it, too, all this time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How can you
Absolutely. The thing is, he is going to ruffle some feathers by just doing that. By talking to in a Muslim nation and trying to not even make peace, I guess just find common ground, say that, hey, look, let's try to work things out and be this. But there's such fanaticism on that side that I don't even think the amazing Barack Obama and his amazing speeches can stop that. Who knows? I'm so cynical with the whole thing at this point.
You know what? And I think that's the bottom line is that we've all been almost brainwashed into becoming cynics.
Yeah.
After all that we've,
Have we?
I think so. Perhaps more than that,
Anthony. He'll ruffle some feathers, but I think he's doing it because he thinks he can make more good than.
Well,
bad.
he's the one. He's like the one that could do it.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's
if anybody
like,
can do it, it could be him.
Yeah, if you want to do this whole change thing, that's the thing he can change because people would be open to having him come over and speak and not just boo him and have to hold away millions of protesters and stuff. What happens after that? That's a whole mystery to me. I don't know how it works out. I think the United States is losing a lot of clout, has lost a lot of clout over the past 8 years. Militarily, diplomacy-wise. But I'd hate to see it go the complete other way where we just look weak and we get shit on again like we did in the Carter years.
I don't think it shows weakness if he's showing a willingness to.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I hope it doesn't come off that way. And I hope that some of these fanatics don't see an opening and an opportunity and are given one by him. They could see it, but I hope they aren't actually given an opportunity by his policies to come back over here and really start their shenanigans, as I like to put it, here on our homeland.
Everybody just wants to be heard.
Yeah, I hear you.
They just want to be acknowledged.
You just want to say, hey, I'm here.
I'm here.
I'm queer. We're fabulous. Get used to us. I'm here. I'm queer. We're fabulous.
Hi, God, it's me, Margaret.
What are you doing? Don't do jumping jacks.
I'm not doing jumping jacks.
He's doing radio hand signals.
I thought he was bringing in a 767.
Yeah, this
to
way,
the jetway.
He wants some Turkish taffy.
Yeah, he's pulling taffy.
We got Rob Bartlett at Gotham for the big Christmas show. What's the plug again there, Rob?
It's this Saturday night, Gotham Comedy Club, 212-367-9000. And then Sunday, The Brokerage, Belmore, Long Island, 516-781-5233. Or just check robshow.com.
Nice. Robshow.com, everyone. All right, we'll continue. Opie and Anthony.